Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of Ringside Rants, brought to you by W.GG, WEnergydrinks.com, or
Day two.
.GG.
Day two. Back to back.
Back to back, people. Back to back. Yes, and it's me as your usual host, Just Mike, and to my right tonight, we have Josh, a.k.a. Bad Karma, and below me we have J.A.T., the Louisiana champion of music, drinking his water and eating his hot nuts, ladies and gentlemen.
Nuts.
Hot nuts. And what we're going to do tonight,
Phil can't join us today because he got bitten by the squirrel.
Yeah,
bitten by the squirrel. But he was sick last night, so I understand he took a sick day.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to try something a little different. It's been advertised. There's a lot of people covering it today, talking about Errol Hawani and Tony Khan's interview. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to watch it live, just like you are. And I haven't seen it. And the two gentlemen here, they haven't seen it because I made sure nobody watched it before I even wanted to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to queue it up. It's already queued up. We're going to watch it just like you are. And we're going to pause it here and there, and we're going to talk about it and give us our points on what we're just witnessed and what we're watching as well. As you already know, there's a lot of other people already covering the situation, talking about how they thought this and they thought that. Well, all I'm going to say is I haven't seen it, so I'm going to give my personal opinion on it after I watched the thing. And we were even going to debate on watching it live, like beforehand, and then talk about it. But we wanted to give everybody here that hasn't seen it a chance to watch it as well. And I know it's going to be a little bit long and convoluted because we're going to actually have to pause it because of YouTube rights and this, that, and the other. And I understand that. I get it. So after about 30 seconds or so, we'll pause it. Then we'll continue on again for another 30 seconds and pause it.
Meow.
Yeah, I know. Josh's horny cat.
Yeah, my cat's in the heat. Don't ignore it.
He just ignored. He said, "Kick it out, Josh. Kick it out."
We were just talking about Lord.
Coming through.
We were just talking about Lord's ass last night after we went off the air. Hey, Josh, show me your pussy.
Yeah, it's around here somewhere.
It's somewhere around here. But no. In all seriousness, though, y'all ready to do this?
Yeah, let's go.
Good.
Let's get it, man.
Let's fucking go.
So here it is.
There it be.
There it be.
Check out
For the
East
first time
Islands,
ever
actually.
in studio, for the first time ever face-to-face, an opportunity to speak with the founder, the CEO, the head booker, the guy, the man in charge, the face of All Elite Wrestling, the one and only Tony Khan is here in studio. Is he in fact here? There he is. The one and only Tony Khan. Wow.
Thank you for having me.
It's a great pleasure.
It's a great pleasure
Honestly,
to see you.
please,
Thanks,
please.
thanks for having me.
This is unbelievable.
This is great to be here.
I have, we got you a mug.
Yeah, you got some
That
bourbon
mug's-
coffee.
So this starting off right here, man. I don't know how to take this, man. I got goosebumps, bro. I do. I have goosebumps.
Okay.
I'm nervous because this can go either one.
Can
or
y'all
two
see
ways.
me?
Yeah, I can see it. We
Yeah, I
can.
can see you. We can see you fine.
Oh, we lost you,
Yeah, he gone.
and he gone.
I gotta add him back to the
And
There
he
you
back.
are. You're back.
My bad, y'all. An alarm went off on my phone, and I had the AM. It was on PM, so it kicked me out.
Yeah, it happens. Well, good thing I had it paused, right?
The auction alarm. So
No, it wasn't that. It was my alarm for the morning.
speaking of
I can
that,
hide you, no worries. But does she know we're live now?
Yeah.
Okay. When she jumps in, I'll keep her hidden. I won't add her to the stream. I just keep her like she is. Because I know she can hear us and stuff in the background.
Well, she can hear me from right here, so she's right above me right now.
Yeah.
So All right, hit play.
All right.
So let's do this.
Let's do it.
All right. So yeah, all right. I'm going back over here to hit the thing up and hit it live. All right, here we go.
This is yours. This is yours.
This is mine.
Thanks for
Honestly,
having me.
It's kind of surreal to see you here.
It's great to be here. I've always thought this is one of the best lit shows.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I love being here. I think I saw Darby and Ricochet, and they looked fantastic. They always look cool, and your lighting makes people look awesome. So thanks for having me here on your great set.
This is amazing. This is amazing. I have to say, never in a million years did I think I'd have you in studio. Certainly not in the last few years. So it's great. And I do want to thank you because, as I was saying at the top, you know, like, okay, I think we got off on the wrong foot. I think in a previous life, we're actually really good friends. We're around the same age. We have similar interests, pro wrestling, football, soccer. Weird things happen. And I've been in this business long enough to where you get on the wrong foot with someone, you're never able to repair it. And so for you to come in here and talk to me face to face.
Imagine being.
Boo.
Oh, there.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it for now, and I'll bring it back up in a second. I'll wait till the.
Filthy commercials. How dare they?
Well, there's our break points. The commercial.
Real. Can y'all hear it still?
Not now.
No.
Okay, y'all can't hear it. Okay, I'll bring it back up. No, I can bring it back up. Dude, I love this. I love being able to do things.
There it is. Okay.
All right, so yeah, here we go. Going back up.
Much respect. I really do appreciate it. I think it's a testament to who you are as a professional.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Ariel, and I really appreciate you having me on. It's great to be here. I have enjoyed your interviews with some of the great AEW wrestlers. Like I said, I enjoyed seeing Darby on here. I enjoyed seeing Ricochet. And even though he's not a wrestler in AEW, I enjoyed your interview with Maven. And I thought some of the things he said were really nice. And then after seeing that interview and seeing some of the stuff you've been doing recently, I really wanted to come on and thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate that. Thank you. How is life?
It's been great. I think I'm really excited right now. I was
Like I'm
All
coked
right.
out of my mind.
He's
All
so fake.
You think it's fake?
Bro, the whole thing, like the whole like pretending it's this big shindig, the way he's acting, like they could have started that show with him sitting down, bro. They didn't need the big elaborate in the coffee cup to come in and here's yours, and he's all, oh, you're such a professional, and your show is lit so well, like he's just doing the business thing.
You think so?
We haven't gotten into reality yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
just watching in the back England U21s.
Okay.
Playing Slovakia. Josh King, who's 18 years old, is a great young player for Fulham, scored for England for the U21. So it was nice. A lot of great things happening in football. The Jags with a big win Sunday. And this is
Yeah, you had to stop.
a huge week for AEW. We've got
Sorry.
AEW Full Gear this Saturday night on pay-per-view. It's going to be a great event. It's one of the biggest AEW shows of the year, and it's going to be a big week of TV. Tomorrow we have AEW Dynamite, Wednesday Night Dynamite. It's a 3-hour show. It's on TBS at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and it is actually a 3-hour live show. We're doing Dynamite and Collision on the same night in Boston, and it's going to be a great
Dude, he is plugging the shit out of himself.
Yeah,
right now.
who watches Hawani and doesn't know what night and what time AEW plays? Even if you're a hater and you only watch WWE, who doesn't know that what AEW schedule is on a wrestling podcast?
Pretty much.
Dude, I mean, he's doing the thing. He's
Yeah.
plugging the shit out of himself.
He just plugged his daddy's football league teams that they pay for and that they're invested in.
Mm-hmm.
great event. We've announced some big matches, and there's more to come. It's always exciting to do a live show, but it's especially big when we get to do a 3-hour show. And being a pay-per-view week, this is kind of one of the biggest weeks of the year in AEW. So I thought it would be great to do something noteworthy to promote it, and it seems like people are really excited to see us talk.
Yes, absolutely. And you're in our backyard as far as Full Gear is concerned.
Yes.
Prudential Center, The Rock, Newark. You were there last year for this event. and this is one of your like sort of tentpole events, if you will.
Yes.
Darby in the main event.
Well, Darby and Pac is one of the big matches.
It's not the main event.
It's one of the top
Okay,
matches.
okay.
Hangman Page versus Samoa Joe in a steel cage match is a huge world title match. Mercedes.
Okay. So Hawani threw him a curveball. Y'all seen that, right?
When he tried to pretend that Darby was the main eventer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give him something to talk about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big title match that we've seen already, by the way. Joe and Hangman.
But now it's in a steel cage.
Mm.
Now it's in a steel cage. That's the new stipulation. That's their big blow off to a feud now in AEW. I think is everything's in a steel cage, and
Joe is going to be climbing the steel cage at 40-something years old. I bet. No,
I don't think Joe's gonna climb that cage.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe one time, maybe hold on, come off the top rope. What Joe's going to do with a cage to climb? Nothing.
Yeah.
Not at this age.
Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion, wrestling the world champion, Chris Statlander for the world title in Chris Statlander's backyard. That's one of the huge matches. Pac versus Darby is absolutely one of the big matches coming out of that blood and guts match.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed your interview with Darby, as I said. And
what a character, this guy.
What
he
a
poured
person.
water on his... I'm still not sure why.
that's not even in the top 27 crazy things I've seen Darby do.
Yes, I bet. But I enjoyed his vibe very much. I wasn't quite sure what to make of that moment, but a very eccentric guy, a fan favorite. I think a lot of people are wondering when he'll be able to like take that next step to be the guy, you know, to get the belt, to be the face of the company. Do you think he's close to that? Or
really,
I would have let Tony Khan finish, but that's hilarious. Where's Country when we need him?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Back-to-back nights, man. Like, what the hell, dude? What the hell? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hit and play.
not quite yet?
I think he's absolutely already one of the main faces of the promotion, and I've always felt really strong about Darby. Darby is one of our top wrestlers, and he's been with AEW since the very first show, and really it was our first summer of events where Darby came in, and he's, like you said, he's an impressive person inside and outside the ring, and the chances he takes inside the ring are only matched by the chances he'll take outside the ring. He's an absolutely crazy stuntman. He takes insane risks, but he also really loves wrestling. And I'm sure you saw that when you talked to him.
Oh, yeah.
He loves it. And he's a great professional, but I absolutely think he's already one of the main faces of the promotion. He has not been the world champion in singles yet, but he's been the TNT champion and a huge, important face of our media rights.
I think he was like twice champion for TNT.
Yeah, TNT champion twice. No, I think it was TNT champion once and international champion once. Maybe. Or was it called the Atlantic Championship whenever he had that? I don't even know. But I want to disclose this right now. We do not own any of the rights to this footage at all. This is all Ariel Helwani's show. We don't own any of the rights to this at all, period.
We're watching it as fans.
We're just reviewing it.
Partnership, but also as a world tag team champion, he was undefeated with Sting. And Sting's run in AEW is one of my favorite things we've ever done. I grew up as a huge Sting fan. If I had to guess, I bet you grew up as a Sting fan.
I enjoyed him. He wasn't my favorite. That man was my favorite. That man right there, Bret the Hitman Hart, was my favorite.
Bret Hart was one of my favorite wrestlers too, and I was a huge fan of both of them. Sting is one of my all-time favorites, and to be able to have Sting come and say, I want to keep wrestling, and I want to come to AEW, and I'll do kind of whatever you want. And he never said, I want to go undefeated or have that run. He never asked for something like that. And he didn't know Darby well yet either. And I introduced them, and it was this pair. They clicked so well in the ring, but they've become best friends out of the ring too. Wow. And if you could see them planning their matches, planning their moves, and putting ideas together, it's such an incredible partnership. And, you know, two different generations, and there's even a generation of wrestlers in between them too, which is kind of amazing. You know, they're very different in a lot of ways, but their similarities brought them together, and it's a bond that exists outside the ring. But obviously, Sting and Darby in the ring were a great team for us. So Darby has been, to me, already a face of the promotion, and he would be a great world champion too. I really believe that as well.
Is there ever a point where
So he hasn't disclosed that he will never be a world champion. He thinks that he can be a world champion one day.
Mm-hmm. That's because if Tony could have his way and Darby would become so over, he would put the belt on him. He don't care. The only thing he's going with the bigger stars right now. But if he could have his wish, Darby would be the most over guy in the company. He'd put it on him. The stuntman, that's going to be crippled.
In 5 years.
Belt bigger than him.
How about Hawani's response on Sting's not my favorite guy. It's Bret the Hitman Hart, which in case anybody has memory trouble, Tony Khan could have said, yes, he showed off our brand new original AEW World Heavyweight Championship on our show, but no, we can't talk about that because he's not with us anymore.
Yeah, he can't mention his name.
Ooh, Bret Hart?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Bret's under a Legends deal now again with WWE.
And Errol knows that.
Sure he could talk about
Errol's poking. He's poking, man.
I'm pretty sure he could talk about it. I don't know if he he's saying. Yeah,
No, he doesn't want to. He's not going to because Bret's not one of his people and all that good shit.
I don't know. He probably could. I don't know. Y'all ready?
Yeah, sure.
Darby, where you feel like it's a little too crazy, like some of the stuff through the glass, and it's just sometimes I have to admit I'm a hardcore fan too, but like I'm like, why put yourself through that? Do you ever feel sometimes like it's a little bit too much with him?
I think he's really a brilliant wrestler, and also he takes these chances, and I think normally they're very calculated chances. The one that I thought was too far, and I would say this to him, and I have said this to him 100 times, so what I'm saying to you is, in Sting's last match with the glass in Greensboro, off the ladder through the glass, that was so much, and that was the one where I thought maybe it was too much, and it wasn't exactly what the way it was described. It was pretty brutal, and that was the one after where I said, I think you're so brilliant about these chances, but this is the first time ever where I thought probably it was too much, but it was also the greatest night in the history of the promotion, and he took a huge risk, and it worked out, and they won the match, and Sting and Darby finished as an undefeated team, and Sting retired undefeated in AEW as a World Tag Team Champion.
His hair looks like a ratty Beatles hair wig.
The only thing I'm having to hear over and over and over is Darby, and
Sting, who is retired. You're gonna come out talk about your big show, and your main talking point right now is Sting, who is retired, spit a cup of coffee in your company, and Darby Allin, who's the human crash test dummy.
It's my personal favorite night ever of all the wrestling we've ever done, and Darby was such a huge part of that, but that was a big risk to take for sure.
What is your line with the stunts? Like, like Moxley stuff, and what is there a line for you? I know some fans say it's like a little bit too gory. So, do you have a personal line?
It has to make sense, and almost everything we've ever done, I thought it made sense. And the things that, if there were ever a few that didn't work out, I thought, well, that probably didn't make sense to begin with. And
the
that's
fishbowl
why
totally
over the years,
made
I think
sense,
we've
Tony.
really refined the process.
It wasn't a
but we have
fishbowl, it was an
such
aquarium.
great wrestlers that 99.9% of the time, I always think everything they do is awesome, and I agree with the choices they make. But sometimes there's stuff that seems like it's pushing it, and absolutely the chances that the wrestlers take on pay-per-views or a big night like Blood and Guts, they sacrifice and they do so much, and that's what makes pro wrestling so great is you have wrestlers that are willing to sacrifice their bodies for the fans with no off-season 52 weeks a year and then push it even further under these kinds of circumstances. So everybody on the AEW Blood and Guts show in particular, I thought, really set a great example of that. And also, thankfully, everybody's come out of it okay.
I thought Darby almost died.
Yeah, and Sky Blue, dude. Oh my God. She was a bloody heaping mess.
That's
Yeah.
Tony Khan's excuse for nobody is on the shelf. Everybody is cleared to keep wrestling. Not cuts and injuries like that. That's what Tony's saying. He didn't lose any of his weekly talent in Blood and Guts.
Yeah. With Sky Blue, I think she bladed herself a little too deep.
Yeah.
She went for the Ric Flair.
She
did it.
almost pulled an Eddie, Uncle Eddie.
Yep. Y'all ready?
Yep.
It has a potential to be a career-ending match with its hard-hitting situation, but thankfully everybody's good.
You know, it's so interesting because I was watching an old video of you and Forbes. They did a feature on you back in like 2022 or 2021, and you say like, I'm the CEO, I'm the founder, I'm the book. You go through everything, and that's a lot for one person if they don't have the Jaguars gig and if they don't have the Fulham job and everything else that you're doing as well. And so now, as far as AEW is concerned,
You can make serious money
Sure.
streaming.
All right, hold up.
That's a good question he's getting ready to ask. You got so much on your plate. How can you run a good show?
Like I said, it's bourbon and cocaine, man. That's how he gets by.
I'll canal water. I might go get another one outside later. No canal water. I'm gonna have to go outside and get one later.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
is it just you? Are you the judge and jury, or is there a committee? And if so, there's always questions, I think, as to like who's in the committee. So could you tell us like what is the sort of state of the booking process right now?
Well, I put the shows together, and this year I feel like I've been especially hands-on at every episode about every aspect of every segment in a way that I was in Daly's place in the pandemic. And at the beginning of the year, I kind of said, since the last year's holidays, that I was going to step back and look at it for a moment like I did 5 years earlier. And Christmas 2019, I had said, you know, there's a couple things that I knew might not work, and I did them against my best judgment. So why would I?
Hold on a minute. He's still saying he's the only one, right?
Yep.
There is no committee.
There isn't. He's got 5 yes men and women backstage that agree with, just like I said last night. He's the end all be all, especially after he pulled the majority of the power from the Bucks and Omega, and hang as EVPs.
Ever do that? Don't ever do that. And it's like a diet. You do your best to stick to it. Nobody's perfect, but like, you know, every once in a while I still might do something against my better judgment, but I kind of told myself, stop doing things against your better judgment. So even in January, and it was the same exact thing too, where in January 2020, there were one or two things where I said, why did I do that? I said I wasn't going to do that, but then kind of caught myself, and I did that again this year, and I really felt like it's been...
Say you make mistakes, Tony. Say it.
He needs to say it, don't he? He needs to say it, doesn't he?
That's him trying not to say I fuck up sometimes without saying I fuck up sometimes. That's what he's trying to say without admitting it.
It's been a lot like the shows like I would have put together in the pandemic, where I come in with more of an outline of everything I want to do, but I also like hearing everyone's ideas and I utilize them. So I feel like we have a really good group of people. It's evolving and changing, and the one consistent thing is there's one person that's at all the shows, and it's me. And that's
Oh dear God!
You knew that was coming, Mike. You knew Tony was going to have to put himself. He is, to him, he is AEW, dude.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're born into money.
the thing is there's not any other one person that goes to every show.
Okay.
There's there's 104 Dynamites and Collisions, because now that there's Dynamite and Collision, there's 2 shows a week. Wednesday nights Dynamite on TBS, and now HBO Max as well. Saturday nights Collision on TNT, also on HBO Max, like this Saturday, but it's on an hour earlier for the tailgate brawl. Well, the only person that goes to all those TVs and the pay-per-views is me. There's not one other person. There's a lot of great people that help out, people that work in different departments, wrestling, creative, and they could be coaches. It could be senior figures. I have great people who could contribute ideas. Like,
Did you hear that? Could contribute. Not that do contribute. Great seniors that could.
Is it just me, or is he saying like he's got a god, like a godplex?
Yeah, but that's the whole stick. I am Tony Khan and I am AEW. That's what he goes for. And he's like, well, I spent my money on it. It's mine.
What everybody from Bryan Danielson, who's an all-time legend in wrestling, but also has some great ideas, and different people on the staff, and it's a great group of women and men. But among all of them, the only person that goes to every TV is me. So I have a pretty consistent idea of what.
What's that, Gordon?
I said, and the final say is you as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon Jr. Yeah, I could hear Josh chewing from over here.
That's
that
me.
was me.
That's me chewing on ice because I'd rather chew on ice
Didn't he?
than hear him talk bullshit.
What I'd like to do, but also whoever's in the room of coaches and staff that day, I will talk to them and hear out their ideas, but it might be a different group. It's kind of like, do you like Ghostbusters?
I used to, yeah.
You know that scene in Ghostbusters? I always think of it this way, and this is pretty convoluted, but this will give you insight into my thinking. There's a scene in Ghostbusters with Ray and Winston, and
is this the original?
The original Ghostbusters, and they're just.
Hold on, what the fuck? Did we just go? Huh?
Yeah, basically.
He's trying to make a comparison. He's trying to use pop media, as an example. But the problem is, Hawani just dated him himself by saying, "Yeah, I used to like Ghostbusters when I was younger. Like it was a kid's thing. Like honestly, it's a generational thing, but he just
called him an idiot, basically.
He's pretty much letting Tony Khan talk and hang himself by smiling.
Yeah.
I'm sure more of it's going to come, but I think Hawani realizes, let him rattle on, and I still look like the good guy no matter what. And
I see a lot of WWE memorabilia in this room. Do y'all see a lot of AEW memorabilia in this room?
Well, they got into it a while back because Ariel Hawani's more for WWE.
Just driving in the car down on the bridge here in New York, and it's Ray and Winston. And then I realized, and I'm like, that's not the two that you always see together. It's just like shifts, and like you get different pairs of people, and like if that makes sense, like you might see Ray with Egon, or you might see him with Bankman, Bill Murray, or with Winston. But it was like it's different shifts. Like the whole movie, it hasn't just been Ray and Winston, but they're in the car now. This is their day. This is their shift. Dude, within every group of people, there's subgroups, and it's not always the ones you think when you see the people walk and stand together. So I have a different group of people at almost a different combination of people than I did at the beginning, but I think there's been a common thread and a consistency, and I like that from show.
That could be a very bad thing, what he's talking about. When you have that many hands in the cookie jar, and all right, this guy's here Monday, but this other guy's here Wednesday, but we're following the same plan and this match, and okay, well, how did this go that day? Oh, I wasn't here, I didn't watch. All right, I'm going to put my that could be it could be good for adding in ideas, but as we can hear, Tony Khan's just like, I'll listen, but I'll take parts of what I like. But that's actually a very bad thing by having a bunch of people that might not understand a story or an angle or a match between two people or more, that somebody else will. The first guy in the room understood it. The next guy in the room the next day is like, I don't get it, or I don't understand what we're going for. And that could be another reason of their lack of storytelling in a lot of ways, because you don't have the same people sticking to the same story. You've got different people coming in backstage. So just ideas I'm throwing out there. That could be part of why AEW is more wrestling and there's only one or two storylines.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I mean, feel like in Vince's time, Attitude Era, you had Vince, you had Cornette, you had Russo, you had JR pretty much. You didn't have more than 3 men, and those 3 men always went over everything and stuck to. I'm not claiming all of it was gold, and eventually Cornette left, but Vince always had one or two people. Pat Patterson and Jr. And
Gerald Briscoe.
later on, the shows got worse when we didn't have that small knit group, and we had 18 to 20 Hollywood writers. Is when WWE got worse.
And you also had later on, you had Paul Heyman and Michael Hayes.
Yeah, but both of those guys make more sense than Hollywood writers or people that don't know what they're doing or don't know the wrestling business.
Like Freddie Prinze Jr.
There you go.
I have a good sense of what AEW is, and I am a fan of wrestling, but also since I've been here, I feel like I, have.
Please say move the needle.
He probably will. That's probably coming, dude. You might have just predicted the future quicker than you thought.
Quicker than that guy's draw.
Yeah. Watch, he's gonna say it. Watch. Mike might have just nailed this shit.
I hope I didn't. God, I hope I didn't.
That's his language. Move the needle. Which the needle is dying on television. Short of their 600,000 for blood and guts. The arena had barely 4,000. And now they're under 500,000 weekly. A 0.1 in the 18 to 49 demo.
Followed the fans. I like to stay in touch with the fans and hear what they like and don't like about the show. And I feel like 2025 in particular, I think we've done a really good job of listening to the fans and putting on a really good show, and I would say that start to finish so far, we're in November. I think as far as doing the TV every week and the pay-per-views, this is my favorite year of show.
I said best year ever. Is that what it's going to be?
Oh, God.
Did he say he was best year?
I don't think AEW's had their best year this year. I don't at all.
Yeah.
Not in the top. 5 or 6 years they've been in business.
What was it? All In was actually pretty good. Actually, I will give it that. All In was pretty good.
One of their first 2 years was, or maybe the second. I don't know. I would go more with that than in the last year or two. I think it's been downhill since Punk left.
Punk left a sour taste in everybody's mouth, man. I mean,
so did Dick Swinging, Jungle Jim Jack fucking Perry.
But he still has a job.
Yeah, was banished to New Japan for a year and not on TV for it.
Excursion.
Punishment.
Like, I have to look at it, guys, like you almost ruined my fucking wrestling promotion.
Yeah, a nobody who's never going to be world champ, who's never going to bulk up, who's never going to be a true main event, done cost me the biggest star in pro wrestling. And everything else is Tony Khan's fault for giving Punk his own show and is letting him form his own team, and the Bucks' fault for being petty. So they're all at fault.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's like if you go watch Being the Elite, like they do like a backstage like of where you see Punk going out on stage for the first time, and you just see the Bucks and you see Omega just like like it's on there. It's on there.
Yeah, they're mad. They're mad.
They're petty at the beginning.
They're petty. They're younger. They very much follow the Gen Z or millennial, whatever you want to say. They're very much like that, and they're not professional, and they're jealous because Punk made a name for himself without needing AEW or them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'm pretty sure that cost them a lot. That cost them a lot.
You ready?
Yep.
Shows personally,
Okay.
and everybody. It's cool thing about wrestling is it's all opinions. But for me, as far as how many great matches and how consistent everything's been, and how happy I've been coming out of the events, it's my favorite year yet.
You mentioned HBO Max. That deal started a couple of months ago where your pay-per-views are available on HBO Max, which is very cool. As you know, UFC's deal on pay-per-view is coming to an end, right, with the Paramount Plus. That's a huge, so they're now going to be on Paramount Plus, and it'll just be their numbered events, but not behind that extra paywall. Do you think we will ever get to a point, because you're one of the last ones left now, AEW, right?
Well, yeah.
Will we get to a point ever where maybe it'll be behind a subscription paywall, the pay-per-views, but not that extra price to get the actual show? Do you know what I mean?
I'm not sure. It's a good question. I think with AEW, something I've been really conscious of and have tried to stay consistent with is maintaining great prices for families or friends to come and watch the shows at an affordable price to be an AEW fan. And I think we've done a fantastic job with that. So it's a great question. Now the
Now with
pay-per-view
50 now
price
with
for
fi-
AEW has been consistent from day one.
Now with $50 pay-per-views, partner, to watch on TV. That's not a
40.
deal.
It's 40
Wait, so
bucks.
if you have HBO Max, you can watch the pay-per-view for free, or you still
40
got to buy
bucks.
You get
Oh.
like a $10 discount.
Yep. Yeah,
But you have to have that. But you pretty much paying, isn't it $10 a month to have HBO?
It's like 20 bucks a month.
Oh, it went up now. Damn. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. He's saying, yeah, my prices are cheaper than WWE for live shows. I also have to lower them because people won't come to my building because my product's not that good. But the big problem is these $50, and everyone I ever bought in that first year, especially, they were all 50 fucking bones.
Yep.
That was high when at the time I was watching New Japan, everything in the month plus the vault for like $9 at the time. And now it's gone up to like 12 something, but it's in HD and 4K. But yeah, I would get all of New Japan shit, all of the programming, no commercials, plus the classic vault, plus the big shows in a month, all for like 9.99 yen back then, which would come out to about $9.
even the old WWE Network was only like what, $10.
$9.99.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the $9.99 because the pennies are going away.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like he wasn't prepared for this question. He's just trying to say, and when he said, I don't know, that means one or two things. That means either Tony is going to stick to the model and he doesn't want to talk about it because it costs people, or he honestly does not know if they will ever go to a full subscription service and he has no clue. So either he's covering or he's just straight up telling you, I don't know. And that's bad for a CEO / owner. Not that with all the looking into HBO and all of this, and all the years you plan, you don't know.
Yeah,
You don't know.
You're supposed to know this shit.
If I had to pick top 5 things that Tony Khan should be concerned about or constantly be in the know for his company, that would be one of them.
Yep.
Where is that now? What does our future look like? Depending on whether we get paid more or less, where do we go in the future? Are we going to stick to traditional pay-per-view buys at $50? How long is our HBO deal for? That's things he should know. So either he doesn't want to say it to draw attention to it because he wants to keep it like it is and make money, or he honestly doesn't know.
He might not know.
Well, it seemed at first like he didn't. Like that, a question like that catches you off guard, dude. You're not an owner. You're not a franchise leader and an owner. That makes you look
Weak.
like C- level right there.
Makes you look weak.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's the same price it's always been to order the pay-per-views.
What is it?
It's on cable and satellite. It's $49.99, and now you can get the events. Lots of outlets that we've added over the years for that price for $49.99. Amazon Prime, YouTube, a lot of great places that are great partners. But our media partnership that really drives the engine that is AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery.
Okay.
And so we're on TBS every Wednesday. We're on TNT every Saturday. But also now this year, and I talked about how it's been this awesome year, a key thing that really felt like a switch that got flipped even more than usual to start the season, so-called, in AEW this new year. There's always a great energy at the start of the year, the calendar year in AEW, because the records reset. It's a fresh start for the wrestlers and a new season. But also this year, it was the beginning of putting the shows on HBO Max. Now the pay-per-views are also on HBO Max, and it's only been a few months of this. But it's really been working out very well, and it's also great for the fans because it's the lowest price. It's $39.99.
All right, did you hear where he started off? Right, I want you just talked about this a little while back, Mike, and y'all was like Phil as well. HBO, man, HBO. You just heard from Tony Khan. His priority is Warner Brothers Discovery, the television. That is his absolute priority. Making the network happy, getting those sponsorships on that TV to make those millions of dollars in his commercials. That is exactly where his priorities are. Y'all just heard him say it. It's the truth.
Yep, that's his
More,
priority.
more than streaming on HBO, more than the partners, even though he mentioned Amazon and YouTube and all of that. His priority is where I told y'all that make the TV
That
people
TV
happy
deal.
because that's who pays him his big salary. You have no company without that, and those sponsors where you make $1 million plus every hour. That is where his priorities are. Just like WWE is adding back that third hour of SmackDown. Why? Because they want that ad revenue, like JBL talked about, $1 million plus in that third hour with advertisers.
And they're going 3 hours tomorrow night.
Yeah, and that buys you, that gets you more ad. It makes money. They make more money off of the sponsors, the ads on those commercials on television. Makes you more money than ticket sales and his guaranteed deal with Time Warner Discovery.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just
Yeah.
make sure you don't have a Domino's commercial right when they're doing a segment with somebody with a with a pizza cutter going against somebody's head.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was hilarious.
And if you're an HBO Max subscriber already, that's a great deal because you're saving $10 a month on these great pay-per-views.
Like I
We
just
get
said.
great satisfaction from our fans on our shows. It's really means a lot to me because I was a kid and my parents would not let me buy every single wrestling pay-per-view. So I really appreciate whenever people do put the money in for every show, and that's why I try to put so much into every pay-per-view and make it feel like you really got your money's worth out of this show.
And 8 hours long.
And especially now
I
with,
give it-
with
I give it
on-demand
that. It was-
DVRs and the shows
it was
being
a show.
available to stream, you can always go back and watch them again and again. And I see some of your wrestling posters and pay-per-view posters, and again, these are shows.
What you got, Mike?
Oh.
I mean, we know there's more shilling here. We know he just made a comment. The fans are so pleased about the Are they really, Tony? If you listen to the
Right.
fans, don't you read the online? And I'm not talking about the WWE haters. You've always got somebody complaining about something. So Tony's pissing in the wind right here. Tony's being positive, Tony.
Yeah.
So my whole ordeal is this, man. And I'm listening to this gentleman, and he's basically saying that I know you pay to have HBO Max, but now I'm going to make you pay more money, and I don't care whether or not you need to have HBO Max. You're going to pay the money regardless.
Well, he just said the line I said earlier a couple of minutes ago. You save $10 by getting on HBO, but in the same breath, you're paying 20 plus 40. So now you're paying 60 a month if you have a pay-per-view that month.
Yeah.
So technically, you're having to fork out another 10 to have HBO versus if you watch the shows live on cable, satellite, whatever, regular TV. You just buy the pay-per-view for $50 and you actually come out ahead $10. So it's a big bullshit. Either way is not great. One way saves you $10 and it's the old-fashioned way.
Well, you're right. It is $10. Basic with ads is $10. Standard ad free is $16. Premium ad free with 4K UHD is $20.
Okay, so it is not the $10. Okay, so technically you're back to $50 if you have HBO. You're not paying 10 extra, but you're not really getting a deal. It's I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna do. Hey Tony, here's my example, but it's not Ghostbusters. It's Popeyes. When Popeyes puts out, y'all ever see those sheets in the mail with coupons?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Popeyes is famous for this. Yes, they have a deal going on right now. $6.99 big. They're famous for these coupons. Almost none of them are a deal. They're pretty much retail price, or they cut you 30 to 40 cents off if you pay attention and do the math. It's more of advertising. We have a 2-piece with the biscuit, and here's the price. Versus, it's not really a coupon. It's just an advertisement of the price, and you're lucky. Either you pay the same, or you get 25 cents to 30 cents off. There's out of all that page of coupons, there's usually one. Buy this and get a free biscuit, or get 2 for 1. There's usually one sale, and the other 9 coupons or 8 coupons, all they are is reading the menu at Popeyes. They're not really a deal at all.
Yeah.
And they're one of the most famous for that. But Popeye sells real chicken, not fake chicken. Tony's over here selling sports entertainment, and not the top sports entertainment.
I agree.
There's a difference there. Much as Tony would not likes to consider himself even with WWE, you're not. That's why you're not packing the houses, and that's why you're not charging WWE live ticket prices, buddy.
And the funny thing is, if you pay $30 a month, you get free WWE PLEs.
Yeah.
$30 a month, you're still only getting HBO Max.
Yep. And the will to watch Dynamite whenever.
Yep.
Which
And collision.
Yeah, which he just had the nerve to bring up DVR, which I mean, if you don't have it and you got basic TV, you can DVR to your TV and you don't need HBO if you want to watch Dynamite 2 hours after it happened because you had to go eat dinner with the wife, do something.
He was talking about if you watch the pay-per-view, if you pay for the pay-per-view through HBO Max, you can go back and rewatch it. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's dying to go back and watch 7 hours of wrestling when they already spent their whole night or Sunday or Saturday watching your whole show and being worn out. I'm sure they want to do it again.
Was that I would watch again and again and again. So I hope and believe that the AEW shows are like that with the pay-per-views we put on. And so to your question, I think we have a great model right now, and we just signed a great media rights deal that I think even the most stringent analyst would say is a really strong deal for AEW, the company, and makes a lot of sense for us. And it also shows the faith that Warner Brothers, TBS, TNT, and HBO Max have in AEW.
Do you have any concern about the future of WBD? There's some talk that they're going to, have a new ownership. Even yesterday, I saw that Saudi Arabia interested in purchasing them. Do you have any concern?
Hold on. Before he goes into this right here is going to get good, gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
This right here is going to break the whole interview.
This is what the whole thing is about and what I've been wanting to hear. You got something else to say real quick, Mike? Because I really want to go run for this canal. I'm going to run as quick as I can.
Go. Where are you going?
Outside and inside real quick.
Go ahead, man. Take your time. We ain't got to rush.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, this question is gonna be interesting. I want to hear the answer to this one.
Me and you both, man, because I'm really concerned on how he's going to portray the rest of this interview. If he answers this truthfully, then I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. I need something to drink too. I'm out, but I'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm running low, and I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so I could grab me a beer a little bit.
Go grab you a beer a little bit. Hey, you know what? That doesn't sound like a bad idea, but I don't have no beer. So I'm going to grab me a water. While everybody's taking a break, let's go grab a water.
All right.
So whenever Jordan shows back up, when there ain't nobody here, he can understand why we're not here, because we went and did the same thing he did.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna sit here and do the helicopter for everybody.
Okay, well, you know what the helicopter is, right?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It's like everybody's gone. All right, helicopter time. Helicopter.
Well, I'm gonna grab me a drink. I'll be right back.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we got two of our guys taking going to get a drink break. Right now we're viewing
I'm here.
Ariel Hawani interview with Tony Khan, the owner, CEO, head honcho, all around do it himself guy, Tony Khan of AEW.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Mike to leave you hanging while I was gone. Now you by yourself, but I'm here.
Yeah, he went to go grab a water too.
Yeah, look at mine.
Damn. You clean your system out? You going for a drug test?
I drink at least one of these a day, man.
Oh, geez.
Does the body good.
Yeah, babe, I could use a beer.
It does the body good, my man. Doctor says they expect you to drink like doctors expect you to down 2 gallons of water a day.
Yeah,
Well, I wouldn't drink
that's
beer.
not possible.
I think it's a little excessive, but 1 gallon I can handle. But I mean, you got to figure there's 4 quarts in a gallon. That's a lot of water.
I grabbed me some Deer Park.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah,
spring water because
like
it's salty.
I don't even think if you drank water every hour, you can power through 2 gallons of water. Not even that. That's just too much. You'd be pissing.
Well, when I used to build houses in 110 degrees, I could easily drink 2 gallons of water plus
Oh, yeah.
salt drinks and sweat all that out and not have to take a leak. But I was physically moving like a monkey, jumping.
Yeah.
When you do that for a living, you don't even use the ladder to get to the next floor. You climb up you jump back and forth and climb up the damn frame.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. When you're out in the heat, I could totally see this. Just keep on drinking, and that it might be possible to, but down maybe 2 gallons of liquid. So
Yeah, that's for the whole day though.
But
yeah, they recommend
your
you
woman says you don't even drink water. So
yeah, as long as he don't get kidney stones, he's all right.
yeah, true story.
Yeah. Like somebody like my uncle who used to drink gallons of Coca-Cola a day. That dude was forever fighting kidney stones.
Mm.
I've only gotten kidney stones twice in my life. Twice.
I don't get them.
And one of them was like early, I was in I think it was in high school, and shit, I damn near almost passed out.
They claim passing a stone is like the closest thing to like childbirth.
Yep.
They claim pain wise that's as close as you can get to natural childbirth for a man.
Oh, let's just say I passed it. I was over the toilet, and the next thing I know, I was on the ground and a mess all over the place.
So y'all want to hear a funny story?
Story time with Mike.
Story time with Mike. All right. So I was 9 years old. I probably told y'all this. If I have, stop me. My aunt had a house out in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of the country. And behind her was another person that had a big old fence. And I had to pee, and her toilet wasn't flushing well or anything. So my dad told me to go outside and use the bathroom outside in the yard. So first thing I ran to was behind the tree. And I didn't realize the fence was right there by the tree.
I think there's a bottle opener
there. And I pissed. And it hit the fence.
Electric fence?
Oh, hell yes. I found out the hard way, brother. It knocked me off my feet and knocked me unconscious, and I pissed all over myself.
I guess so. You had water, you got liquid coming out your D, and you just put that with electricity going through there. I guess so, bro.
Yeah. It just like
I didn't even make a sound, my dad said, dude. He said all of a sudden he just see me fly in the air and land and pissed all over the place. And yeah, funny story, right?
Yeah, well, it probably wasn't funny for you, but y'all ready to get into the meat potatoes of this?
Man,
all right.
Dude, this is one of the questions I wanted to hear answered.
Yeah, wait for the long-winded political answer from Tony too.
Oh,
no kidding.
I bet.
It's about how a new ownership would affect your standing, your deal with them.
Well, I feel really great about AEW's relationship with Warner Brothers Discovery, and I think it's a great situation for us that we're one of those strong franchises, like I said, on multiple channels and properties where AEW's clearly very strongly figured in. Just as an example, we've got the huge pay-per-view this Saturday. It's presented by DC as a presenting sponsor, which I think is anybody looking at Warner Brothers would say that this is a really important part of the portfolio, DC. And for DC to be sponsoring us and also the kinds of collaborations they're doing with us. We partnered on Dynamite episode 300 the week before AEW All in Texas. There were ads and collabs with the stars of Superman, with stars from AEW. There's been some great partnerships across DC now doing comic books with AEW, with the big stars from AEW crossover in comics. And we did a panel with DC at New York Comic Con. And then also DC now, for the first time ever, presenting an AEW pay-per-view, and it's this Saturday.
He never answered.
No, he's gonna dance around it and speak positive first. That's what he's doing. But to say DC, which is owned by Warner Brothers, is an amazing sponsorship. It's like saying the shit I took last night was better than the shit I took this morning.
Yeah.
It's like both of it is shit from my own ass. So like you wanna have a blow you away partner, a Snickers, or someone that is not with Warner Brother coming in saying I will sponsor you is more important. That Cracker Barrel sponsorship might have not been as worth as much, but was more important than WB owned DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you hoping to get some Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman fans to check out AEW and what these. He said big name star, big. He said main event talent in these comic books. I'm guessing Darby's in a comic book.
I seen Hangman Adam Page on the cover fighting Lobo.
Well, there you go. But at least Hangman's more of a representative. But yeah, he's doing the long dance, making himself look good. I say give it another 3 or 4 minutes of the dick sucking, then let's see what else he says.
So we're becoming a bigger and bigger part, AEW, as we've grown, and now it's been 6 years of AEW. We've continued to become a bigger part of the Warner Brothers family. So I feel like no matter what happens in the future, I think we will be a really important part of that family. And also for different media properties, thankfully, because I'm on the NFL Fan Engagement and Major Events Committee and have had a lot of experience in football in the NFL and in the Premier League, and now with AEW, dealing with a lot of media partners. I have strong relationships with almost every media property out there. Thankfully,
hold up. Did he just say that he has a strong relationship with all these media partners?
Yeah, including WWE and ESPN. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
NFL,
and the Food Network and Me TV. Yeah, yeah, bro. Yeah, buddy. You know some people, bro. You got friends in the media. That don't mean nothing yet.
So I got friends in low places.
Yeah, with high regards.
is and continues to be the strongest media and sports organization, in my opinion, in the world.
Yes.
And the NFL is in a really strong position, and we deal with a lot of these great partnerships. My dad is basically any committee I'm not on, my dad's on, and he's involved in probably about half of the NFL committees. And there's very few and far between that he's not involved in some way, whether it's business ventures and all the different finances and every aspect of the league practically.
Again, not answering the question.
Basically, yeah. Hey, my question would be like, how come you didn't get a WWE title belt for the Jaguars?
He's trying to build equity with Ariel Helwani's base of listeners. Tony's trying to prove himself that he's a big media player, that he knows people, and he's bigger than just AEW at Time Warner. He's trying to say he's got all of this as leverage and as a positives for him on his side, that he knows what he's talking about and he's a respected. That's what he's trying to say here.
But it don't come off like that. It comes off as him avoiding the question.
Mm-hmm.
He's involved in. So he's really, really built such an amazing thing, and I'm so lucky to be in the position I'm in. But also, I've learned so much from him, and I have to say that he's built these great relationships, and now with AEW, I built a lot of relationships. And between the two of us, we've engaged with almost every media property and have great relationships. So I think that's going to continue. But most importantly, for AEW, we've got a great relationship with Warner Brothers Discovery and the leadership right now. And that has put us in this great position for AEW.
I was thinking of this
Mike.
earlier today.
Tapping that dance.
No, sorry. Well, everything he just said is true. Now we know that Time Warner and Discovery are going into they're breaking into two separate branches. One side wants to push more movie based stuff, sports stuff. One wants to go more sitcom heavy and more in that direction. So the company's already going in two different directions. We don't know who the new owner is going to be. Tony Khan's right. Right now, he has a decent relationship because he's hired. They have a deal. That means nothing for the future. If the future owner is going to give a shit about AEW, if they're going to lowball him for his 500,000 minus viewership a week, we none of that is known yet. And that's what we want. Ariel tried to ask him, and that's what we all, the three of us, probably other people watching, want to know. So let's see if Ariel digs a little deeper and asks right here.
I do believe off the top of my head, the only major combat sports entity right now that does not have any sort of business relationship with Saudi Arabia. UFC does, WWE of course does, in boxing, Matchroom, Queensberry, Top Rank, Golden Boy, they all do. I think you're the only one. Is there any particular reason for that?
Ooh.
So
Let's hear if Tony wants a partnership or he has an excuse not to do business with. Let's hear this.
man, we don't need this is probably the one time I would say we don't need that Saudi blood money. We don't need it.
I want to hear Tony's excuse of he just said he's all about money and good partnerships and good deals. So, Tony, you're the only guy in sports entertainment, combat sports, that's not doing it and not taking the extra money. Why are you not taking the extra money, Tony? I want to hear it.
Here we go.
We don't have it.
We don't need it.
No, we don't have the video up.
Mike, we're not seeing nothing.
Oh, sorry.
We can't hear or see anything. We just see the three of us.
Okay, that's on me.
Damn it, Mike.
I'll go back.
It's a great position for AEW.
I was thinking of this earlier today. I do believe off the top of my head, the only major combat sports entity right now that does not have any sort of business relationship with Saudi Arabia. UFC does, WWE of course does, in boxing, Matchroom, Queensberry, Top Rank, Golden Boy, they all do. I think you're the only one. Is there any particular reason for that?
I can't speak to that. I'm not sure. I didn't realize that. But it's interesting. And no, I think AEW, we've got great partnerships. We work with probably some of the same media partners you do. But no, I'm not sure why that would be. But
Just a coincidence.
I guess it would.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I never thought of it like that till you said it.
Okay.
That right there shows you. CEO, manager, main man. I never considered that I could be bigger or make more income. It doesn't matter about where you at about logic wise or moral wise with Saudi. You never even considered the possibility or looked into it, or no one reached out to you. That means A, no one cares about your business because it's not big enough, or B, you just did not maximize your opportunities and your investments and look far enough. You don't care because you like. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about a little bitty Time Warner and Discovery. You know, I'm happy with that. Oh, I got HBO. Yay. Yeah, what about the rest of the world? But so I'm not taking up for that or not. I'm just saying, as a businessman, I would have been aware of that, or at least been like, okay, what could Saudi do for me? What would the money deal be like? What would that be like at anything? You know, you would want to know the pros and cons. It's no different than when the Bucks and Omega went to WWE to hear their offer when they were going to start AEW. They went, they all sat down, they all shook hands, they listened to the guaranteed offers, Hangman too. They all went to WWE and heard it. They went, weigh their options. They still opted to do AEW, but they went. Tony, in this case, is like, I'm oblivious to this. I'm a deer in the headlights.
I never thought of it. I'm like, what? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
And here's another thing: all these media partners, these great relationships. Not a one of these people in all these other organizations and media. No one ever mentioned that to you, Tony. No one ever brought that up to you since you have such great partners and great relations. No one mentioned this. You were unaware.
Jeez.
You ready?
Yeah.
Something that I was really curious about, and I hadn't really heard you asked about this, so would love to hear your thoughts. It is very clear to me as an outsider that when you're putting on a big show, WWE tries to counter program it. How do you react when this happens? Do you think this is being done on purpose?
Ooh.
Did Mike pause?
I did.
Okay, he's building suspense here.
I did pause.
He's building suspense. Now let's hear Tony, nice guy, his way
I do
around
think
this.
it's done on purpose, and I understand it, and it's part of wrestling, and I think we've seen a lot of it, but I think other wrestling promotions that have been the challenger wrestling brand in our lifetime have seen a lot of it. Jim Crockett Promotions, which was the forerunner to WCW, saw a lot of this, and Jim Crockett Promotions ended up having to sell the company to Ted Turner, who then made a great run. It took a while, and really, if you look, Ted Turner took over at the start of 1989, and the strongest run came over 6 years later, almost 7 years later. It started.
Thanks to Eric Bischoff. Thanks
Well,
to
Eric Bischoff was part of it in '93 and
Yeah, but-
'92.
Eric came around after '92. He wasn't there yet. When they first got in, he made the pitch to go for management, and they said, okay, we want a guy who's not wrestling but business savvy. The first thing Eric did was to cut off the wasteful spending. He's the one that put the shows at Disney, revolving crowd. You didn't have to keep buying houses. They were losing. WCW was losing so much money on the house circuit at this time. It was insane. So Bischoff worked on that through '94, '95. Then finally, when '96 comes, Ted Turner
got
said,
Hogan.
Eric, what do we have to do to go 1-to-1 to be on that level with WWF? And he says, give me, and Eric never thought he was going to do it. He says, give me 7 o'clock on a Monday night. Let's go head to head with him. And Eric's like, he'll never do that. And then Ted went, done. And he went, oh, fuck. But that with careful planning in business, those years until they didn't really lose money until '99. They went on the up. '96 was good. '97 brought more profit. '98 was their biggest profit year because they were still getting paid from '97. That's when they were beating Vince.
Mm-hmm.
And they had so much marketing.
Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Mick Foley's gonna win the title. I'll put butts in seats.
That wasn't the first. That wasn't the first thing that harmed them. The first thing that harmed them was Ted got greedy and said, "I want a second show," and they needed Thunder. And Eric's like, "Oh fuck!" And WWE did not have SmackDown was not first. Thunder was first, and Eric said that was the beginning of the end. He says, "Now we got to write for 2 fucking shows. One is not going to be live every week. How do we connect this to Monday?" He's like, "This is it. We're cooked. This is it." Between and Mike, when they got Mike Tyson, that's when Kevin Sullivan and Eric and all of them were like, "Oh fuck, it's real." But that's really what happened. But up to that point,
finger poke of doom.
yeah. But and all of that added to it. But it was not the finger poke of doom and Mick Foley. That was not where it started. And if you go by the real numbers, not revisionist history, the numbers did not flip like everybody thinks they did.
They were close.
Yes, because I watched WCW to the very end. They went off the air about 8 seconds before WWF did, and I flipped over the channel. Mick Foley was running around the ring with the title, and it faded to black. So technically, they might have got a view from me if you count that at the hour. But did I watch the whole thing with DX and all? No, I did not. I was watching what was going on with NWO and Hogan. The big story was Nash and Hall finally on the same page without Hogan, or we were led to believe, and they hit us with the swerve, and I was like, damn it, we can't get Hall and Nash without fucking Hogan. That's the way to do it, and we can't get it. Anyway, my rant's over.
Business peaked. And
Right.
And that was brought to you by
There you go.
GG.
Get your energy drinks at w.gg. Use our promo code Ringside Rats 10% off. Go.
And now back to Tony Khan talking about air.
And took off their peak years. So it's interesting because as a challenger wrestling promotion, you've got a great opportunity, but it's really hard. It involves tons of investment to build up to be a true, strong challenger. And that's why we took the risk with AEW when we did. I do think that we've seen that kind of counter programming and those things. And I understand, and looking back at wrestling history, kind of expect that. And
Does it frustrate you?
I think it's okay because for us, it's always worked out and we're in a great position. So it hasn't ever been a thing where it's cost us anything. And even when you do something like AEW All in Texas, where we do the show in the afternoon, it really worked out for us great. And it was one of the best days in the history of the company. So
You don't take it personally. You're not like, can you guys just leave me alone? Can I just have the day for myself? The one in Toronto, right? You put it earlier in the day because they had the ESPN debut. And so, I mean, like, you'd have to be an idiot to not think that this is being done on purpose. You have
And that ESPN debut was a crock of shit. It was awful.
Yeah, it was
Dude.
not good.
Dude, they haven't done a good PLE yet.
They have problems on their side of the world. We can get to that later, but it's not just Triple H, it's others too. But they are so far ahead with that TKO and the money and the profits coming in that they are coasting. We're not getting, and all wrestling companies are usually famous in modern day for after the fall, the companies are dead because it's the end of the year in football and the holidays. Everybody, that's your most creatively bankrupt time.
Mm-hmm.
That has been proven for years. That's just your most creatively bankrupt. See, WWE always builds the Survivor Series. They have what, Full Gear on this side of the world?
Yep.
Yeah, and then everybody starts over Royal Rumble and Revolution and all that. And and Royal Rumble is always the lead into let's get WrestleMania season going. Just like WWE always has a dip after WrestleMania. And the summertime makes sense because kids are out of school, families are doing, life's happening.
Y'all ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
UFC used to do this with their competition back in the day. And so I was just curious how you react internally to this.
Well, it's very interesting. I think that it's something that is a part of the wrestling business, and I definitely don't take it personally. I think it's no more personal to me than it was towards Jim Crockett, or even maybe less so than it was with Ted Turner, or similar amounts as with Ted Turner. But definitely, I think all of us have seen that kind of counter programming and could speak to that. And certainly with AEW, I'm very proud that we continue to really run strong and be that great challenger brand in pro wrestling. AEW is where the best wrestle. I really believe that, and I think we have the
he
best
said it
roster in
3
wrestling
times.
today and the best wrestlers.
We're legit,
and put on the best shows like this Saturday.
He said it. Pause it. He said it 3 times. We are legit competition for WWE. We are challengers. I expect it makes Tony feel good that they're counter programming him because it makes him feel like he's reality, like he's that big. It makes Tony feel good that WWE's like, this is our number one enemy. So it gives Tony relevance in his mind.
And if you want to go back to Jim Crockett Promotions and all that, the stuff that WWE ran them out of business, all them old-time territory guys, they wanted to put a hit out on Vince.
Oh, yeah. Jim Ross would tell Vince years later. Y'all know the story about Jim Ross in the stall while they were the guys outside were saying I could get it done for under 1,000, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Jim said he pulled his legs up so they couldn't see him. Came out of that bathroom, white as a ghost. I don't know if I'm ever going to tell another soul in my life. But what happened with Tony is not wrong in this respect. Jim Crockett Promotions had Starrcade and they had a couple of big shows like pay-per-views before Vince. Vince purposely booked shows against them, and for the he had already ran WrestleMania when he went against I don't know if it was Survivor Series. I think it was. He said if other networks run the the Crockett shows, that I will not give y'all access to WWE. So everybody said, well, we're going to go with the proven one that draws. And it hurt. And they did this a few times to Crockett. But this was Vince being cutthroat, squeezing him out the market, doing what he had to do. Yeah, but because they were, at the time, they were the last big challenger because Vern Gagne and the AWA never recovered after WWF took all their talent and WrestleMania happened. They never recovered. It was downhill while Jim Crockett Promotions was still maintaining.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ready?
And then they got bought, of course, by Turner and WCW in '88. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Is private student loan debt
Well, I almost had it right. Would have waited a second.
Yeah.
I could have rattled on while this.
Future pole dancer right there.
Yeah, I could have rattled on while that bitch was trying to sell us something.
Go ahead.
I don't need to rattle on. We waiting for the show. Yeah, we got to get through this one day.
We are.
Oh yeah, as Tony dances around, pretending he's a business executive.
Dude, is it just me, or is he really not answering any of this shit?
He's pulling a classic politician / media person / I think Ariel eventually is going to let him get comfortable and then hit him with one or two eventually, where he's kind of left holding the sack. But Ariel's going to let him build his confidence. This dude's a professional interviewer.
And I look at a lot of things. I listen to a lot of things. I feel like there's a lot of these like YouTube pundits, especially like the old timers, so to speak. And I hope they don't take offense to this, but you know, the guys who have been there, done that, who feel like it seems to me like they have an axe to grind with you.
It's interesting because
Why do you think this is?
I don't know. I think
You know
part
what
of
I'm
it-
talking about, right? Like
Sure, I
the
do.
Cornettes, the Bishops, like every single video, if you type in your name, it's never complimentary of AEW or yourself.
It clearly does engagement for them to talk about AEW because you wouldn't spend such a large percentage of your real estate and you wouldn't devote such a large percentage of your content to talking about AEW unless it was engaging. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a
100%.
smart strategy.
Why do you think they do it so much?
Well, we're ongoing. We're putting on wrestling 52 weeks a year, and people want to talk about current events. And right now, AEW is a huge part of the wrestling landscape. We put great shows on. Tomorrow is a Wednesday night, and we're going to have a great Wednesday night Dynamite tomorrow. And I think that any given week, you know, you can count on there's going to be AEW putting on new content to talk about. And we're one of the major wrestling brands that people.
How many times has he repped Dynamite and the weekly television and letting everybody know, tune in and watch the fucking show?
Yeah, we got to gotta get that viewership.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, there's plugs and then there's overplug. We got forks and all. Dude, I got a fork in every one of your wall sockets right now with the way he's going.
Yeah, for real.
Like I've heard of plug your shit before and after, one time as a joke in the middle, but seriously, how many times has he said AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, great show, great, we're competition, we're real, watch the show? Like, how many times so far has he said that?
At least 100. Dude, I'm glad we're not drinking to this because we would be drunk as shit.
Ooh, we could have. Yeah, I can't. I got to bring the old man to the doctor in the morning, so I'm behaving like a good old boy.
See what I'm saying, though? Dude? We could literally be drunk right now because he how many times he's plugged AEW?
Oh, we made a drinking game out of this.
Yeah, we could have picked words Tony would say, like you know, certain words, and every time and everybody would have had to edit a pin on. Yeah, like, you know, like competition, you know, respect.
No. Just AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night.
Well, I didn't think he was going to go this overboard. I mean, he acts like, I said it before, Ariel Helwani is a wrestling podcast interviewer. You think anybody that watches this show doesn't know when Raw and SmackDown and Dynamite are on? Come on. I understand if you want to plug Saturday night, but this is getting ridiculous.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
We're going to want to discuss, and a big part of the wrestling landscape is AEW. So I think
100%.
people want to talk about the new wrestling, talk about the current wrestlers. And as I see all this stuff here, I want to try and get some AEW. I'm going to send you some AEW stuff.
I appreciate that.
And we'll put that. We'll hopefully make that part of the set because you're a big wrestling fan.
Yes,
you got
yes.
wrestlers and great memorabilia. I might try to get a Jaguar even up here with the Buffalo Bills.
Let's not get crazy about that.
Okay, but
He doesn't
got
see
Forrest
enough.
and the Bills.
Mike.
You can't. We actually were playing.
He noticed where's the AEW merch. You know, he just said it. He says, let's get some AEW stuff in here, man. Yeah. Maybe when you're a company for 60, 70 years or whatever, maybe you'll be there, Tony.
Yeah, no shit.
But he was like talking about get some Jaguar stuff, and then he's like, I don't know about all that. 'cause he's a
Yeah, you went a little too far there. Of course.
He's a Bills fan. Huh?
Yeah, but of course Tony's going to push the Jaguars. That's their football. Their his people. He just talked about his buddies with his money. I mean, of course he's going to push that. But yeah, you going a little too far there, buddy. But yeah, maybe he can give him an AEW sign to hang on the wall. Who knows?
We'll see. Y'all ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
You guys, end of December at Craven Cottage.
Yeah, we've had some great battles over the years with Nottingham Forest and with the Buffalo Bills.
Is it fair, though? Is it fair? Like, do you feel like sometimes they hit you below the belt?
I don't want to. I think that that is the business strategy. I think that's a pretty consistent business strategy of WWE that has not changed with the ownership change. And so,
okay, so that's WWE. So I'm talking about the pundits, like these guys who are analyzing every single move, every single creative decision.
I think it's ironic coming from Eric because Eric sat in the position and he was making a lot of great moves, and Eric had a run that is unbelievably successful when you look back at what he accomplished from 1995 to 1998, and it was unbelievable. And he was still did some good things in those other years, and he did a lot. And it wasn't like everything he did in 1995 and 1998 was 100% perfect 52 weeks a year, but he did some really incredible things, and the sum of his accomplishments is unbelievable. And he still talks about it to this day. And 83 weeks is something that is synonymous.
Is it just me, or is he trying to put over Eric Bischoff?
He's trying to look like the nice guy because Eric will say when he's right and when he's wrong. But you got to remember, Tony's idol is WCW. And love him or hate him, Eric's the one that made it successful. But Tony's whole goal is I want to be WCW 2.0. He bragged about them being on Turner longer than WCW.
Yeah. True story. Ready?
Yep.
Anonymous with Eric and his brand, and it's a name of his show. It's incredibly impressive. I also was one of the wrestling fans as a kid when I was like 11, 12, 13 years old, who was critical at times of some of the things Eric did, but also appreciative at times. And I was more balanced than other people, but I understand what it is to be a wrestling fan and to have certain things you want and expect out of a wrestling show. I think that.
Would you be happy if you stayed?
Would you be happy if you stayed limp forever? What?
I think it's funny that me and Tony are about the same age. I think it's hilarious that he said at 11, 12, and 13, I was that age watching Nitro, that he was critical of Bischoff. Dude, we didn't look at Bischoff as you didn't realize that or what he was. You saw him on screen. He was technically WCW president. He was a character. You didn't know all of that behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. That you didn't know all that behind the scenes shit that Eric did. So Tony's kind of fibbing here. You're repeating the history.
Yeah, unless he got to go backstage every freaking Monday and Thursday night, which I doubt whenever he was that age.
From what I understand, he watched WCW he watched Nitro on TV.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Ready?
Yep.
Did a lot of those things, so he has a really good understanding of what it is to be on TBS and be on TNT and put on pay-per-views and work with the executives at Turner. Even some of the people who've been there for 30 years have worked with both of us through different administrations, which is incredible.
Wow.
So I talked to him about that at times. So I do think for Eric, I respect.
Recently or no?
It's been a while, but not that long. And I I respect his opinions. And I think he talks about AEW a lot because AEW's on every Wednesday night, every Saturday night.
Here we go. Drink up, everybody. Drink up. Yeah.
I'm going to get drunk, guys.
All right. Here we go.
New information right there.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Wednesday and Saturday nights, if you did not know, AEW is on television.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, dude.
then it gives them good content to talk about. So I think in his case, I think it's interesting because he spends a lot of time talking about AEW, but I think he's also cognizant that there were a lot of media personalities and former wrestling promoters that had strong vocal opinions of him. And I'm not trying to say that I've done more than him or I think that one thing that was cool this year was when we hit a milestone that's not a round number, but episode 289 of Wednesday Night Dynamite is remembered as one of the best ones. We're going to be in Boston tomorrow. We're back for Wednesday Night Dynamite, and it's going to be a great show.
Broken record.
Damn.
Twice within 5
3
seconds.
shots right there, man. Shit.
Jeez,
And guess what, guys? It's going to be great. Great show, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, it's on Wednesday nights. If you all did not know, I mean,
Yeah, and also Saturdays.
They'd be like, Sky Blue is the new Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, and the last time we did Dynamite in Boston before tomorrow was Spring Breakthrough in April.
And it was great.
And it set a huge accomplishment for us. It was such a big thing that I sent it to even top Warner Brothers executives who were really happy with it, because I actually think it was probably the best week of media coverage that we've ever had until I came on your show today. This has been great. But now this is going to be a great week for AEW. But the last time we were in Boston before tomorrow's show on TBS and HBO Max is something I'm really proud of, because it made us the longest running primetime pro wrestling show ever on TBS or TNT.
Oh, yeah.
And that includes the great shows that they put on. And
he gave you props for that.
He did, and it meant a lot to me, so I appreciated that. So thank you for bringing that up. I thought that was really cool. And so it's mixed opinions, right? And everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I also think Eric's in a unique position because he was in the chair, and he did have to make a lot of decisions, and he also knows that you can't go backwards, you can only go forwards, and you can only learn from the things you've done. So I'm very fortunate, I think about it all the time, to still be in the chair, because
you're fortunate to be in the chair that you built, you put up, you created, and you own. Way to go. Oh, Wednesday night's going to be great, by the way.
Yeah.
Nothing like bragging about you're sitting in your own chair you bought, you paid, you unfolded, and it's your own gorilla position.
Well, I mean, in his defense, didn't Vince do the same thing?
Exactly. He's Vince Jr.
He's Vince Jr. with a god complex.
Cocaine habit.
I don't think he's on cocaine this morning, because I know this happened this morning, so I don't think he's on cocaine. I do believe
when he does the media scrums for AEW after a pay-per-view, he's on something. There's no way he's wide-eyed and all wired up, and they're like,
I don't know, man. If it was my baby, I think I'd be pretty pumped too with adrenaline. But I've ran shows before with other people, dude, and that adrenaline is legit. It lasts for at least 4 hours after the show. I will admit that. And you're on that high, and when you come down from that high, you're looking to get that high again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can see, but people don't realize it, and other people will tell you the same thing that's in the business, that it is a high, and he's a fan first and foremost, so he's on that high, man. He's looking for that high nonstop. Oh, dude, we're gonna be doing the pay-per-view this week. Oh, hell yeah! You know, because I can already tell the way he's talking about Full Gear being this Saturday. He's wanting to talk about it and to divulge information, but yet at the same time he's like, no, I can't. So I'm just going to give you what I already can give you, which is Wednesday night and Saturday night. Which tomorrow night you're getting both at once, you know, and I get it. So I don't think he's on cocaine. I think he's on that high, man. Like he needs that high like every single time that he gets on television or has a badass interview like this one. Even though he hasn't really answered any of the questions that related to Warner Brothers Discovery, he did answer truthfully about the WWE and in his opinion, but he was like, it don't bother me because it ain't hurt me,
Right.
and it hasn't hurt him yet because he hasn't felt the ramifications of a big company actually putting the foot down on her throat.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. TNA versus Wednesday night's gonna happen.
It will, but let's watch it be played out and see what happens.
I want to watch his numbers drop and him freak out.
Oh, dude, they're already dropped.
No, they're gonna drop more.
You think so?
Yep. WWE's got him wounded and they're gonna strike, dude. It's coming.
Well, the thing is that TNA would have to step up because I'm sorry, man. When you watch a TNA show, it's like, really? I'm bored.
Dude, they're gonna put the WWE people on there. It's gonna be just like AAA.
Well, they're only really just barely putting anybody from WWE. Well, no, I wouldn't say they're barely putting anybody from WWE over there.
NXT has the Knockouts title right now. I mean, I don't know, man. We'll talk about that when we're done with this. But
All right.
this right here has some very really important ramifications about everything, and I mean literally everything.
You can make a mistake, and if you make a series of mistakes and you go down a wrong path in pro wrestling, you can end up in a place that nobody comes back from. And look how many people in pro wrestling went down that door of making a mistake after a mistake, and then they were
And you're
gone.
coming
And
for it, dude.
sometimes it's not their fault. It's due to extenuating circumstances you can't control. But I'm fortunate that if I make a mistake, that I've always been able to go back and look at it or figure out what can we do to make the next show perfect or make sure I don't do that again, because I really think that course correcting, making sure that we are always on point for the next show is a really strong aspect of AEW. I think that's part of the consistency. And, you know, on the one hand, I could say I've only been a wrestling promoter for 6.5 years, and I've only been booking and producing wrestling shows for 6.5 years. On the other hand, that's one of the longest runs anybody's ever had.
Sure.
So I've been fortunate to learn a lot of things, and I'm fortunate that tomorrow I get to do another one, and Saturday I get to do another pay-per-view, and
Okay, I have a.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah. Hey, boy, Bill advertisement.
Hey. Brought to you by my sponsor.
Sponsor.
That's how much. Hey, Josh, I'm putting the dent in it already, bro. Like that much is going.
This is my second one. The first one's empty.
This is a gallon. I'm almost halfway down it.
Jesus.
I
am the water monster, bro. Godzilla loves me for a reason.
Your plants love you for a reason outside.
My grass, there's that one spot that stays nice and I don't have to cut it.
It's green and yellow and brown.
It's brown. Yeah, it's brown. All right.
Doodle brown. Doodle brown. Are y'all ready to get this back up and rolling? Dude, is it just me, though? I mean, is it slow burn? Is it a slow burn?
Yeah. It's completely political. If we weren't able to throw in our comments, I'd be bored as fucking would have skimmed through or shut it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's boring as shit. Tony Khan has said he's gonna ask eventually. How about the future of AEW? That's gonna be interesting to watch Tony dance around. You know, oh well, you know, like you said, maybe one day Darby can become world champ. You know, that's gonna be fun.
Grateful for that. I'm always very grateful to the fans who watch the shows that we're still in this position.
Speaking of the fans, there's always a lot of talk about ratings, about attendance.
go.
Honest assessment of where you're at right now from a ratings perspective and attendance perspective.
Let's
Thank
see
you
how
for
great
that.
it is.
I'm very
Let's hear how great and how grateful Tony Khan is to the fans and the networks. Let's hear how great everything is and how sustainable. And let's hear about one more. There's another word I'm missing. How much the fans love the shows and the quality. Okay, go ahead.
Very excited. We're coming off of an awesome event this past week and awesome ratings. We had a great week. We were one of the top shows on cable.
Okay.
And this year,
What did that do? I don't know the.
it was so I don't have all the numbers of the DVR, and I don't know the streaming numbers. You got to remember that we
Yeah.
have a lot of fans who watch on HBO Max now, but on TBS, it was 600,000, and it was in our time slot one of the top shows, and it ranked somewhere in the top 10 on cable. For the entire night, and in its time slot, I think it was along with ESPN and Fox News. TBS was one of the top 3 channels, and it was also, to me, if you add in what I would believe we have on our streaming audience, more people watching than last year's Blood and Guts. And our audience this year, our cable.
You know what the streaming numbers are?
No, I don't have them.
They don't tell you.
No, I don't have them.
Okay.
And I honestly don't know how many people would have watched, but knowing that it was our most watched show in months on TBS, I would expect.
How did you not? If it's the most watched show in months, and how do you not have the numbers?
Well,
That's
he doesn't
a
have
great
streaming numbers.
Yeah, that's a great question. He doesn't have all the numbers because he would love to pile it on, but they did hit 600 plus thousand plus. It's only one night. Let's look at 1 year before this. An 18,000 seat arena, about 16 to 18,000 fans in it. 2.4 in the 18 to 49 demographic, which is knocking on Raw's door. This year, 16, 18,000 person arena, $4,000 paid in there inside, a 0.1 in the 1849 demographic, but they're all celebrating because they got 600K views. That's like when Jimmy Kimmel was taken off air and they put him back on and he actually hit over 1 million views. And one more thing for fun. Tony Khan's talking about Wednesday Night Dynamite, which, in case y'all don't know, is a great show and it's every Wednesday, But this is, I'm going to give y'all a perspective here, okay? 600,000 people watch Blood and Guts. Y'all know what happens at 9 o'clock on Fox News? Greg Gutfeld, which is the #1 late night comedy show. Would y'all like to know his numbers?
Probably 2 or 3.2.
3 million and up. That's what Greg does Monday to Friday every week. That's why he is crushing. That's why Stephen Colbert is going out of business next year. That's why the Seth Meyers show is like horrible ratings, and that's why Jimmy Kimmel's behind them both in the numbers.
Jesus.
Those guys are lucky to get 1 million and under. Tony Khan's bragging about 600K. Greg Gutfeld, who tells real jokes and will tell things to kind of upset people, but be politically incorrect, and it's a joke, and cut jokes on himself, does anywhere from a 2.8, 2.9 on a bad night, and 3K and up. And he goes live, or the show is every Monday to Friday.
Shit.
Just to show y'all. And in case y'all would like to know, people such as Undertaker and Kane and Tyrus were all on the show at one time, let alone show up on the show. Yeah. There's a little context for you there, Tony. But Wednesday Night Dynamite is gonna be a great show, man. Yeah.
All right.
In fact, it was probably our most watched
Also
show
Saturday
on streaming. From what I've seen in sports, we don't get every streaming number from every game with all the data, but I do know from the NFL that there's a healthy and growing audience that watches the events on streaming. So I think that TBS is still our kind of bread and butter on Wednesdays and TNT on Saturdays, but I think that's a growing part of the audience, especially in the younger demographics. What's been really exciting for us is at the beginning of the year, I was thinking that there was a possibility, okay, we have this audience at the end of 2024. I was here in New York for the holiday shows. We're coming back again to do Christmas Collision and Dynamite on 34th Street around the holidays.
Yes, Hammerstein, right?
At Hammerstein.
Yes.
They were great events last year, and they really set the stage to come in and have this great year we're having now. And, looking at it back then, I was thinking, okay, well, the New Year's about to start. This is uncharted territory. We've never done the simulcast. We've never done Dynamite live on Wednesday. It's still on TBS, but now we're also going to have people watching on HBO Max. Collision's still going to be on TNT, but we'll have people watching on HBO Max.
Or do we
My
know?
thought is we're going to have some new viewers that have never watched before coming on HBO Max. We're also possibly going to have some cord cutters that have been away from cable coming back to AEW on HBO Max. But I was prepared for a possibility that there could be some erosion or cannibalization of the cable audience, which did not happen. It came out the other way. In Q1, Q2, and Q3, if you look, our share went up and our total audience went up.
Okay.
So we have this really great success
Sure,
story.
went up and our pants went
Now,
down.
it's
Dude, he's lying now. He was bragging about the young viewership. Dude, you got a 0.1 in the 18 to 49.
I have to go pee because this is a bunch of bullshit.
You
Yeah, I was
heard
like,
all of that
yeah.
just now?
I think we gotta skip through some of these questions. It's getting ridiculous.
Between AEW, Dynamite, Collision, and HBO Max, he must have said them 200 times already.
Yeah. It's getting so redundant now. I was like, all right. I was like, I want to hear some good questions, man.
Yeah. You probably would have had to skim through the video first and mark where Hawani asks each question, because Tony's just going to rattle on as long as he lets him to kill the time. I mean, we have gotten no exciting news, no revelational responses, true answers to any question. No, it's been the most politically bullshit. Watch AEW on TNT and TBS on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and buy HBO Max. This whole thing has been an advertisement for that and nothing else. Anybody there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, but that's this whole thing. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, man. It's just
I'm making sure I'm not going crazy here because let's not forget about football, the NFL, the Jaguars, and the overseas football and the soccer football league. Let's not forget about that. Yeah, we said HBO.
No, the EPL. EPL is the European Premium.
Yeah. Everything has been a promo for all of that. Everything so far, and how great Tony Khan is.
And we're only halfway through with this. This is a bunch of bullshit.
It's interesting because we don't get the same kind of numbers. In Q4, there's been this big change in the Nielsen system.
Yes.
Which is why it was great to see this huge number we did last week for us, because it was like, well, that's the best number we've done since the change. And so
that's
clearly
how bad y'all have done.
There was a great response to it. But also Collision the previous Saturday had done the best number it had done since the change in this system. So we're seeing good response, and we've really closed the gap. It's kind of like in the pandemic. If you look at where AEW is as a percentage of the WWE shows, this is really one of our strongest runs. And if you look at where WWE is, say the audience of Dynamite compared to SmackDown, for example.
There is no comparison.
Yeah, there isn't. And you see that change he's talking about, guys? Let me clarify that. This is kind of cheating in a way. The Nelson's ratings have changed officially this year. So technically, Tony's celebrating on a technicality that AEW doesn't look as bad as it could have. That's why he's saying this year looks so great. There was across the board, the Nelson ratings have a different outlining and how they work now. So Tony's celebrating that. And they're one show with 600,000 people because they haven't been able to get 500,000 in forever. But that's what this whole thing is about. So he's celebrating because he, on a technicality, looks better than they should look.
Well, I agree. I totally agree with that. And I'm hoping that this interview gets better.
Or Raw. This is a great time for us. And you would say that along with some of the peak times in AEW, this is right
Wednesday
there.
and Saturdays.
2025 right now. What's happening, that the AEW audience as a percentage of the competition is about as good as it's ever been. And with the streaming audience, like I said at the start of the year, I wasn't sure if the cable audience, where they would go. And actually with the cable audience at the start of the year, and then again as the year went on, grew. So that was pretty exciting. And so
Grew
from
where?
the first 3 quarters, that's the case. And now they track the data differently. So we'll see how this goes. But we're in the 4th quarter, and so far it's been this awesome year.
I'd be remiss if I don't ask you about the CM Punk story.
Ooh,
Do you have
here we
any
go.
regrets about how?
Did he just say the CM Punk story?
I think he was getting bored himself, and he's like, "Let's spice this thing up and see what I can get out of Tony." But I got a feeling I know what we're gonna hear. You know, it was a chapter in life. You know, we went through it. Where it's behind us. You have to keep moving forward. Things, unfortunately, we couldn't come to agreements, and we had to part ways. But thank him for his time with us, and you know, we're moving on. And AEW, you know, by the way, we're Wednesday and Saturdays. We're moving forward, and we're doing great. Yeah. Wait for it. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. Our HBO Max deal is great, even after him leaving.
Oh God!
Wait for it. Here we go. Press play.
That was all handled. Obviously, he came on the show. There was that big interview, and then you guys played that footage. Looking back, are you at peace with how it all played out, or do you wish things could have been done differently?
Damn.
This is where it gets good, and
I wouldn't get y'all hopes up. This is going to be a fluff piece, and Tony's going to show that nothing affected him, and life is great. Get ready for it. And he's sorry things couldn't work out for the better, and they couldn't have kept going, but he has to move forward. Don't forget, Wednesday and Saturdays is AEW. And HBO has a streaming deal on Max.
Yeah,
we know that.
Yeah. And it's done great, even with the loss of Punk. It's all been terrific. And this year's been our best year ever.
So many things. So I,
like playing the footage. Did you think that was the best move in response? Because it felt like that was in response to the interview. To your interview, that's what it felt like.
It's interesting because I do think that I didn't necessarily agree with the description of how it all happened.
So that was your way of showing like
no,
this is
not necessarily. And by the way, I really think you're a great interviewer, and I very much appreciate it because we've had a very very good interview, and I think I've been very good to answer all the questions
you have.
so far. And now you've got me where I'm enjoying talking to you so much. You've really got me hooked in. So I want to answer your questions, even the challenging ones. And I didn't necessarily agree with everything that was said in that interview about how things happened, but also, it's a TV show, and it did a very strong number. And if you look, you
knew it was coming. Y'all knew it was. Here comes the positivity. No sound.
So for many reasons, I think that it made sense, and it was a thing that was advertised, and it got a lot of attention. That did a very strong number, and also it's in the eye of the beholder.
Was there anything he said that you want to now refute?
I think the tape spoke for itself, and I think that I didn't agree with how it happened, and obviously it was a major part of why things were no longer able to continue with us, even though I would have liked to have been able to, and it's clear that I wanted to reconcile and do those things, and you
wish that maybe like by him leaving and then showing up on WWE like 2 months later, that was a huge boost, right?
I think really for us, we've had a great run for 6 years, and if you look at the time before Phil came to AEW, we were having a great run, and we had some great times together. But we've been on a great run, and we're having this great year right now with this roster, and I think this is the best roster and the best AEW locker room. And it feels like in and out of the ring, the combination of them, this is the best we've been. But I also think that we had great times together. And it was clear when we started doing Collision, I wanted to reconcile and find a way to still do those things. And I guess that wasn't possible. But I didn't necessarily agree with everything.
Did you learn any lessons?
He didn't agree with everything, but he ain't talking about it.
Nope.
Well, I'm pretty sure the one incident he can't talk about.
Oh yeah, we know the one incident he can't talk about, but other people could talk about it, but none of them want to talk about it, and that's the crazy part. Like, there's a lot of people that can talk about it, but nobody wants to talk about it.
And all he's saying is what I said he's going to say. This year's been the best year. And moving forward, don't forget AW on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
Fucking bullshit, dude.
Because one of the
It's
things that
coming
he
again.
said in that interview was that, like, you know, and I hope you don't think this is coming from me.
Sure.
I'm paraphrasing that, like, you know, you don't stand up as a boss, you let people kind of like walk all over you. And so that felt like an indictment on you as the leader of the company, which is what you are. And so I'm wondering what your response would be to that.
I don't agree with that, but I also think that everybody's entitled to their opinion, and that's feedback, and it's fair if that's how he feels. But I didn't agree with the description of the way things played out, and that's okay. And that's all in the eye of the beholder. Just like the whole situation, if you see the way it came out, it all was in the eye of the beholder, and that's okay. I think AEW is doing really well right now, and I'm really happy with what the people on the shows are doing. And
Answer the fucking.
it wasn't
Yes.
the first time that he and I disagreed about something, and it may not ever be the last, and that's okay. But I had tried to reconcile, and I wanted to find a way for everybody to be able to work together, and that didn't work, and that's okay. And it seems like everybody's happier and doing better right now. I know in AEW right now, everybody's really happy, and it feels like this is the best the locker room's been since the Jacksonville lockdown days. And we had over a year of shows. And I said at the beginning of the year, I wanted to bring that mentality to every show for everybody, that either how I put it together or the way we all interact or the way we all just sit down and are straight with each other and don't let the distance grow, because in Jacksonville, it felt like the locker room was super, super tight. And then we became.
Well, see, he got off the CM Punk thing real quick, didn't he?
Oh yeah. He wants to move. I told you, let's move forward. Let's be positive. We're having our greatest year. We moved beyond that. We tried to get along. We couldn't reconcile our differences. We went our way. It's the basic political fucking garbage, and downplay it and say how great you are now, and get ready for another Wednesday and Saturday promo in about 10 seconds.
Nomads again, and we went on the road, and it wasn't like that. And this year it really has been, and it feels like this is probably the closest it's been since the beginning of AEW. And then we took that spirit of the very beginning of AEW and became even more tight-knit, living in a bubble together, doing shows in a bubble together through the pandemic and putting on shows every week together, never stopping the shows. And that's how I got close to the UFC and Dana White, because...
Yes. Are you guys still close?
Yeah, we are.
You still talk?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
We do. And I talked to Dana still, and I saw him recently. We sat together at a football game. We are both friends of Dan Lambert, and we both sat together at the Miami Hurricanes game.
That's right.
I went to watch a game with James Gladstone, the GM of the Jaguars, and Tony Baselli, who's legend, Hall of Fame NFL player, and executive vice president of the Jaguars, and the three of us went to the Miami game. And Dan invited us, and we were sitting with Dana.
That's amazing.
It was great.
I love to hear that.
It was great.
Unfortunately, we're rounding third here because I think you're very busy.
No, I'll stay.
You'll stay?
You need. As long, whatever you need.
This is such a rare opportunity to speak to you. You're the guy at AEW, and there was a lot of questions that came in about the status of certain big names in the company. So can I ask you about a few people in the company? You know, there was the story with Andrade.
Ooh, we can talk about Andrade.
Tony's gonna whitewash that.
We'll see, man. We'll see. Let's give him hope on this one. Because I'm telling you, dude, if he whitewashes this one, I'm done. I'm done with the whole fucking
I think he's going to throw in a line, maybe to the end, but no bridges truly burn. And he might even reference, see, Punk, we couldn't come to agreement. But see, me and Andrade, we didn't agree. And look what we've been able to work out. And now he's on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Shit.
That's what I'm expecting.
Andrade, who showed up, and then he was taken off TV, and the reports were a cease and desist, that he wasn't able to be on. Can you clear this up? What happened?
Okay, so far I've answered every question.
You have, yes.
And
you've done a great job.
I'm batting 1,000.
This has been a 180 from the last one.
Well, I appreciate that.
Nothing frustrating today.
I appreciate that, and we're doing a great job, and I want to try to keep it going.
Yes.
I think the world of Andrade. I had a great experience with him, and he left on the best of terms.
This is back in the day.
This was the original time.
Yeah.
And now, when he said he was free and made his one-night appearance, I was thrilled to see him again. And anytime he's free and whenever that is, he is absolutely always welcome in
Did he
AEW.
misrepresent his status?
I can't speak to
Fair
that,
enough.
but I really, and it's the first time I've said that to you, but I do appreciate that. And it is an interesting situation that I am going to keep an eye on, but I absolutely think the world of Andrade El Idolo.
What's the state of Chris Jericho's relationship with the company?
Chris Jericho is somebody who's in AEW and has been with us from the very beginning. He's been away from us for a bit, but
since April, right? His last appearance was in April.
Yeah, and he's somebody that's had, even this year, great matches with Bandito, somebody that's been a world champion for us and was really, at the very beginning of AEW, absolutely as key and instrumental as any individual in the launch of AEW. And I love Chris personally and professionally.
Is this where he throws a curveball and says that he's no longer with the company?
I have Tony Khan's response written, photocopied of him saying that Jericho's no longer with the company from 3 weeks ago, if not longer. And Tony Khan said it on it. So let's see what he says.
But he just said right here that he's still with the company.
Oh, he's probably under contract.
Technically, he didn't say that. He said
he did. I can rewind and prove it.
He's mainly talking about Jericho starting and how big he was in the company. He's wanting it up.
Who's in AEW and has been with us from the very beginning. He's been away from us for appreciate that, and it is an interesting situation that I am going to keep an eye on, but I absolutely think the world of Andrade El Idolo.
What's the state of Chris Jericho's relationship with the company?
Chris Jericho is somebody who's in AEW and
who is in AEW.
Been with us from the very beginning. He's been away from us for a bit, but
since April, right? His last appearance was in April.
Yeah, and he's somebody that's had, even this year, great matches with Bandito, somebody that's been a world champion for us and was really, at the very beginning of AEW, absolutely as key and instrumental as any individual in the launch of AEW. And I love Chris personally and professionally. I just reached out and wished him a happy birthday recently. I'm very excited about everything Chris has done in AEW, and he continues to be with us. And, he's always
Is he going to be back?
I can't speak to that, but I love having Chris in AEW, and he's always welcome. The door's always open for Chris to come in.
What is the reason for his departure for now?
Of course.
Boom. Yeah, that just because he can't speak on it, that automatically he would have told you Chris is still strong with AEW, not has been and was and has done. So he's already putting what Chris has done in the past, and he tried to be relevant by saying the matches he had this year. Yeah, guy's been off TV since April, and he's going back to WWE, and we know it. He's going to get that Hall of Fame, that WrestleMania, and we know that's going on. Could Chris go back one day? If Chris wants to be behind the scenes, sure.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a very good question, and it's some of it comes down to just working out the dates and
is this deal almost up?
I would rather not get into that, but also I respect you asking about it, and if I could give as much information as possible to try and keep a very constructive dialogue.
Do you think we'll see him back in AEW?
I hope so. I absolutely hope we'll get Chris back in. And a star like Chris Jericho, you negotiate a certain number of dates. And Chris has always been really great about being one of those wrestlers in AEW that when he's in, he's all the way in. And if you think, he's always really been a full-time part of the show.
Sure.
And at first, when we started, we talked about finding ways with Chris and Fozzy and his band to keep him involved because he was such a central figure as the original AEW world champion, as Le Champion. So there were times where Chris would have videos in Dynamite or make appearances. Even when he offered John Moxley my dad's car, that was actually my dad's car, to join the Inner Circle in Jacksonville, Chris was actually on his way to the Tokyo Dome, and we had filmed that over the holidays, knowing Chris was going to be going to Japan. So he filmed this video that we played for Mox to watch after the Mox versus Trent match in Jacksonville on New Year's Day, and then Mox himself then left for Japan right after that. But it was Jericho was wrestling Tanahashi and got over early to do media, and that was on the Tokyo Dome in 2020. And it's amazing to think now here we are almost 6 years later, and Chris has been a huge part of AEW from the very beginning. And we started out early like, okay, how can we find ways to keep Chris involved if he needed a week or two off. And then pretty soon Chris was just here every week and wanted to be here every week, and we love having him. So if we can work out all the dates and all the things, I would always love for him to be here. But he's one of my favorite wrestlers, and certainly he's as instrumental to the launch of AEW as anybody.
What's up with Britt Baker?
Oh,
here we go. Here we go.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting. This gonna be something.
Dude, did this interview just get interesting or what?
No,
Well,
man.
it's going to depend on how much Tony dance. I mean, he's probably going to say there's certain things he can't speak to with Britt's thing as well, and he's going to probably be like, she's doing what she does. She's being a dentist, and the door's always open, and we hope we could get her some more dates. We have to book around her. She's a big star, probably the same shit.
We'll see.
Britt Baker is somebody that I love and respect, who's also been in AEW from the very beginning, and she had been away at times for health reasons, and she had some injuries, and I'm just looking for the right time with Britt, and I've had really good talks with Britt, who I really, really like. I think Britt's a great person in and out of the ring. She's so impressive to have somebody that went to medical school, earned their degree, is practiced, and also has wrestled at a high level and juggled all these things. I think it's really impressive, and as somebody who juggles a lot of jobs and a lot of work, I respect Britt's work ethic a lot. She's also a great wrestler. So I would love to have Britt back in AEW, and Britt is going to be back, I really believe, in AEW, and I hope soon. But it's going to be the right situation for her and everybody involved, and I want to make sure she's 100%, and that's important to me. And I really care about the health and well-being of all the wrestlers. And in Britt's case, I think she can come in and still be a huge part of AEW, and I expect she will.
Did WWE ever ask to use?
Very different than the Jericho response. He really thinks he's going to get her back, whereas Jericho, he's like, hopefully, maybe one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And dude, hasn't Britt not even been in the company all year?
No.
Yeah. What? Yeah. All right. The injury talk is nice and caring for everybody. Wasn't she injured last year or before? She's had plenty of time to heal up from non-serious paralyzing injury. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was something, and she only came back for like maybe 2 months at that.
And
Probably
she's probably tired, to be honest with you, of the schedule of having to live like that while she was being a dentist. She's probably like, I can see how quickly it's wearing my body down. Plus that, she's probably like, it'll have to be a big negotiation. She comes in, he comes out for a season or something like that. I mean, I don't think you're gonna get her full time or longer than 6 months.
Yeah, even that. Plus, I don't see her going to WWE because that means she would have to give up her dental practice.
I could see her doing a WrestleMania with a Charlotte and lose job in the Charlotte, like a Sting. I could see that kind of a deal going where she's on TV for like a month. She shows up on either for Monday or Friday, every week or something like, and then she's done or what. I could see her doing that if she doesn't want to work with Tony Khan, if she wants Mania and she wants that big, stupid, huge payday, because like it or not, people would turn in to see Britt Baker at Mania versus one of the big name 30-year-old WWE girls. They would.
Oh yeah,
they would.
Ready?
Yeah.
Use Adam Copeland as part of the John Cena retirement tour?
No.
Is his deal up at any point to where he could be used?
I mean, you never say never in wrestling, because I would imagine they could always extend that date past the end of the year. But no, Adam's going to be here with us through the year, and he's really
there was
a huge
this big
part of
push
AEW.
because they're bringing, like yesterday they brought back Dolph Ziggler and some other, Matt Cardona came back last week, and so there was this big push for him to be the last one. But obviously he's under contract with you. I was wondering if there was ever a conversation about that.
Adam Copeland is a huge part of AEW, and I have so much respect for him, and I really, really like Adam a lot, and I'm glad to have him here, and he's away filming, but he's with us, and he's going to stay with us.
MJF, when do you think he'll be back?
I expect Max to be back, hopefully very soon. Okay. Max is somebody who has been a huge part of why this has been a great year, and even though he hasn't been available every single week, I think he's done some really great things in and out of the ring this year. And if you look at what Max accomplished with Happy Gilmore 2, he's had some amazing matches. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. And it was really one of the marquee performances to where I can go into almost any office in Hollywood or any entertainment office, and people have seen the movie and know Max's role, even if they don't watch wrestling.
And I called this year before I was even on the show with you guys. You can ask Phil. I said, it's going to take that right movie, but MJF is going to end up becoming a movie star. He's too good of an actor. He's not going to destroy his body he's not going to be a Randy Orton of the ring. He's got enough talent and enough knowledge to be able to become what John Cena never really could break through and do all the way. You know, that's where I saw him going. I mean, as long as it happened for him in the next 5 to 8 years, if not, he'll jump to WWE first. But that's been my opinion on MJF since year one in AEW.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's right now. I know currently he's been doing a lot of independent dates.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in a lot. He's been involved in CMLL and MLW as of late.
Yeah, and not only that, so has Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett's been in part of it. He was in New South doing a seminar on how to be a better wrestler and everything. How to get yourself over and stuff.
Good on Mike. I always support people that you learn more, you better yourself. I have to do that in my career with music. I'll support anybody that's like, I want to get this from another angle. I want to do more work. I want to improve myself. I'll support anybody for that.
Yeah. Also, he's a really nice guy too. Really nice guy.
Mike Bennett. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him once.
Mike Bennett's a great guy. He's married to one of the hottest women in wrestling.
Yeah. Isn't that Mickey James' husband?
Nope, that's Maria Kanellis' husband.
Oh, Mike Bennett. All right, I'm wrong guy. Okay, but that makes sense.
Mickey James is Nick Aldis, man. That dude works in WWE.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking of the wrong person. But yeah, I don't have nothing against that guy. It's just WWE don't know how to use him. But hey, they didn't know how to use EC3 either, but Vince never liked him, so.
Well, EC3 also is a roid raging freak.
That too. Yeah, I'm not calling him a great guy. Another missed opportunity when he was young that WWE didn't know how to use that Vince could have made a monster heel was Vance Archer.
Yeah.
That was a missed opportunity there because Vince usually likes his big guys. He could have been what he wanted Baron Corbin to be, but with less of a likable face, more of a heel. But he could have been not the suit wearing and the manager, but like it should have been Lance in the late 2000s or 2010. Don't even look at a Baron Corbin.
You know what's funny about Lance Archer, man? He started his career off in TNA as Lance Hoyt.
Yeah.
And the Rock and Rave connection with him and Jimmy Rave, who is rest in peace. And then you had him with Kid Cash too. Y'all remember that?
I did not get to see Kid Cash with him. That would have been interesting. A high flyer and the big guy.
It was actually pretty interesting, man. It was actually pretty interesting. And that was called, I forgot what they called them. What was it like? Rock and Cash and Rock, something like that. The Rock and Cash Connection or some shit. Because they couldn't call him Kid Rock because, that would have been funnier.
Yeah.
But, that would have been hilarious. But, yeah, Lance Archer is one of the guys that is always, even his heel, dude, as much of a heel as he is, it comes across your television screen.
Oh, he's one of the nicest people on the planet.
That's what I'm about to say, dude. He's one of the most nicest people on the planet.
Yeah,
he's like, everybody has to die.
Everybody has to die, you know. But he is that guy, man. I mean, as much people
I
want to
love
give him
this
shit.
interaction with him and Danhausen. It's
Oh,
fucking.
dude.
Like, I'm here with Murder Bird. Murder Bird. It's like yeah,
Murder
Murder Bird. Murder Bird.
Murder bird.
Like, right? You didn't hear me? I said Murder Bird. Murder Bird.
Murder bird. Yeah. All right, let's get back to this shithole that we call an interview. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Which speaks to how successful that movie was, how big of a role that was for him, and how great of a job Max is doing as a crossover star. But he's also wrestled at such a high level. And if you look at his matches, first of all, I want to spend some time talking about how great, because I mentioned him at the very beginning when we were running down the Full Gear card, but I haven't gotten to talk a lot about somebody who's been a huge part of the success of AEW this year, Hangman Page.
Yes.
I briefly mentioned this Saturday, Hangman Page versus Samoa Joe in the steel cage match. I could also talk a lot about Samoa Joe and how huge a part of AEW Samoa Joe is. But MJF and Hangman had a great match at Revolution. They had a great match at Forbidden Door. Their rivalry was outstanding, and MJF also had great matches with Mark Briscoe, and was involved in a Casino Gauntlet match at AEW All in Texas, and some great matches in addition to this starring role in Happy Gilmore 2 that was really good promotion for him and for AEW.
This is great. Everything's very transparent. I appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you are as well. I'm just firing away names, so I hope you don't mind it.
No, this is good.
I'm not trying to be confrontational or anything with this. What happened with Ric Flair last week?
Ric
I
Flair.
saw him post a thing.
Yeah, because Ric Flair was supposed to show up at the Blood and Guts show.
Supposedly, when the cameras were not rolling, he did come out and was in the ring. But for some reason, they couldn't show him on camera. I don't know why. I mean, let's see what Tony's going to say and not say. But supposedly, Rick did come out to the audience and they got to see him. He was in the building.
Apologizing for having to leave and not, he was advertised, right? So
he
what
was at
happened?
the show. He was at
there,
the show.
yes.
So for anybody who bought a ticket and thought they were going to see Ric Flair come out, he did come out. Ric Flair, he tore his rotator cuff. The AEW doctors had looked at him because he had a fall and torn his rotator cuff. He's a little bit older now, but he's still in great shape. You see videos of Ric Flair lifting weights and working out, and he pushes himself really hard. He's still a good athlete. He's still a great athlete. He's deadlifting 500 pounds and doing these crazy workouts. And Rick had a fall, and he came in and he had an injury, and the doctors he had torn rotator cuff, and he said, I really feel terrible. And I said, Rick, I don't think you should be going out and doing anything in the ring or even getting into the ring. I think like maybe you and I just go out at the start of the show. And he said, honestly, he was in a lot of pain. He might be good for him to go home anyway. And so what we did is Rick and I went out and said hi to the fans before the show started.
Okay.
It's Blood and Guts. So I introduced Rick, and obviously with this big 2-ring double steel cage match and everything that comes with it, the fans were going to get really amped for this. So I thought a great way to pump the fans up, we had a trailer that we had played online. It was a 3-minute video. So for any of the fans in the arena that hadn't seen it yet, we played that video, and Rick and I went out and said hello. He said he really loves being in AEW, and he thinks the world of the AEW wrestlers, and great to see the fans. And then we queued up the video. But Rick was in a lot of pain, so I didn't know when we had advertised he would be there that he was going to have a torn rotator cuff. I think it actually happened right before the show. So then I thought, let's just let Rick go home early, and for the fans here in Greensboro, he's going to go say hi. And then in the event, he really was not in any shape physically to go out there with a rotator cuff. And he also took the sling off to go out there.
Okay.
But he was in a sling, and he didn't want to go out in the sling, so we just went out and said hi, and then he put it back on.
What happened?
Okay.
At least he's honest. He's very dude. He's being so transparent with these questions, but he wasn't. But I'm worried, man. I'm worried he's gonna get a good one and he ain't gonna be able to answer it. We shall see.
Well,
With Miro.
there was bad blood. There was bad blood between Hawani and Tony for a while with the Punk interview and things that were said online. So Era Hawani is trying to get on his good side here. I wonder if he's going to try 1 or 2 questions later on. He may wait till he gets Tony again another time and then try it. But I think he wants this interview to go good because he doesn't want to chase Tony away.
Nah, you don't want to chase Tony away. Here we go. Here goes another one. You ready?
Yep.
do it.
Let's do it.
Dude, I'm actually enjoying this. I don't know about y'all, but I'm actually kind of enjoying this.
It's getting better now.
A great wrestler, and he was great in AEW. He was a TNT champion, was being in AEW, and he Rick had a fall, and he came in and match and everything that he was going to have a torn rotator cuff. I think in AEW, he was a TNT champion. Let's just let Rick go home early, and for the fans here in Greensboro, he's going to go say hi, and then in the event, he really was not in any shape physically to go out there with a rotator cuff, and he also took the sling off to go out there.
Okay.
But he was in a sling, and he didn't want to go out in the sling, so we just went out and said hi, and then he put it back on.
What happened with Miro?
Miro is a great wrestler, and he was great in AEW. He was a TNT champion.
He barely did anything.
And I think he and I just had, at times, different visions of things, but that's okay, because everybody's entitled to different opinions and different ideas. And really, that's what this all is. It's different ideas. And we just kind of drifted into some different ideas of what we thought we should be doing, and that's okay. And I think he'd worked in WWE before, and that clearly was a good experience for him. So he clearly was excited to go back, and he did go back. So I wish him the best, and that's what he's doing now. But that must make sense for him, and that must be why he wanted to do it.
Do you have or did you have any interest in Killer Cross?
I have not spoken to him in many, many years. And
I thought he was a layup for you guys.
It's
given
interesting
how that all played out.
That's interesting. I'm not sure. I like Killer Cross. It'd be interesting at some point to talk to him again. It's been a long time since I've talked to Killer Cross, and it would be interesting. He's
so when he became free, you guys didn't chat?
I haven't yet. He did some stuff with Darby that I was involved with Darby in terms of clearing the schedule for Darby to do an independent match with him here in New York.
Yep.
And they did a match, which I was involved in that, and Darby and I were actually at the Comic-Con together that day promoting DC, AEW Full Gear, and the comic books with AEW and DC. And Darby went right from the Comic-Con panel where he assaulted Mox.
Yes, I remember that with the glass.
Got a lot of attention. He smashed the glass pitcher on Mox, who Mox is so awesome, and he did so great on that panel. I mean, to have somebody like that that's such a great champion and a great ambassador and a great leader, we're so lucky to have Jon Moxley in AEW, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. But Darby also is so important, and their rivalry.
Well, you know what that means. Killer Cross was nowhere on Tony Khan's radar to even come into the company. That's what that tells you.
Mm-hmm.
Not even on his radar.
Right there.
Not even on that man's radar as a hire. He might like Killer Cross for whatever reason. Tony sees no value in Tony Cross and no desire. That's what that tells you.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah,
he has helped fuel us. And
wait, Killer Cross.
We like Killer Cross. I like him, and I went that night. I had a lot of things going on, and I actually wanted to go see his match, but Darby had to be hustled out, and we still had events. So Darby left early to go do that match with Killer Cross, which was great that he was able to do both things. So I didn't get to see him that night. That would have been a great chance to connect with him.
Okay.
We
make this happen?
Yeah, he's great. I think he's tremendous. He's
him and Scarlett are a great duo. I think they've got a great thing, and they were red hot towards the end, were they not? Were you surprised that WWE didn't sign him?
It's interesting. I mean, you never know what's going on with different wrestlers in different wrestling organizations, so I can't speak to that, but I think he is very talented, and Darby said he had a great experience with him, so it would definitely be worth reconnecting. I mean, we get so deep in our foxholes and thinking about the different things we're doing, and sometimes I get so laser focused on one thing, as you can see, that I think about those things, but at some point, he's definitely a great name to think about.
Okay, I'll ask you one more name. Will Ospreay. When do we see him again? What's up with him?
Boy, I love Will Ospreay. So Will Ospreay is such an amazing part of AEW, and again, talk about somebody who's contributed to why I think this has been a great year for us.
Well, do you think Killer Cross now have a chance to get into AEW?
A chance, yeah, but obviously Tony Khan just said Darby Allin is 4 stars and Killer Cross is nowhere on his level. So that just shows you who he was more concerned with, who he's friends with, who he likes more in his mind. Darby Allin is worth more than Killer Cross.
Right now, I think what it is that
No one
AEW
knows
just
his
got
contract.
too much talent right now.
Well, I agree. I totally agree with that
They
statement.
got too much talent for them to bring in Killer Cross. They would have to let some people go actually to just to bring him in.
Who do you think they would have let go, though? I asked the question.
Mm.
I think there's a lot of dead
Dirty
weight
Peter
on.
Avalon.
There's a lot
I
of
hate
dead-
to tell you this, but with the way he keeps posting, he's unhappy. Brian Cage could be a guy that goes work the Indies and leaves that company before others.
Yeah.
Well, right now Brian Cage is out on medical because he just had knee surgery.
All right, well, he's getting paid then. Or he's going to have to owe back Tony some time. So his push is never coming.
Man, there's so many people that could be let go right now.
Here's the problem. And this is AEW's biggest problem. And I said they should have been on this from year 2. Why do we not have people built up that are even to Hangman in the main event and MJF? Why do we not have this? Why have you relied on Adam Copeland and Christian that should be putting over young talent and Mox and Brian, that which I know Brian's phasing out and all that, but Mox is another one that should be making new talent, helping put people over. I mean, the Wardlow
I think he
fiasco.
just put over in that Blood and Guts. I think he put Kyle
Kyle
O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kyle
but-
O'Reilly's up there in age too, though, man. I mean, he's not a young buck no more.
Yeah, the problem is we have a bunch of mid card people that are pretty good. We don't have any main event 4-star gonna break the bank. You don't have an Austin, you don't have a Rock, you don't have a Cena, you don't have an Orton, you don't have a Fiend, you don't have anybody like that. You had Sting, he's gone. You have Brian, he's ready to stop the full time shit. Omega's banged up because you worked him nonstop. Now you done it to Osprey. You didn't beat him up because you worked him nonstop. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, I mean, Kyle Fletcher, they should be leaning on him to be the guy in a couple of years. They should be not enough people are getting the Braun Breaker treatment. That's what I'm gonna say. Not enough people are being set up to be the future of this company. It's been 6 fucking years. There's no reason they shouldn't. They didn't take year one to make.
There's 3 people I can say that they've been trying to push, but no one's really having it. And one of them is Kyle Fletcher. The other one is Takeshita. And the other one would have to be, in all sense of the words, and I'm not impressed with it at all, and y'all probably going to agree with me on this, is Orange Cassidy. Those 3 guys are being pushed down our throats is more than Darby Allin is.
Yeah, but that Orange is one of Tony's favorite fucking people. He loves the shtick. He loves the guy. I remember Orange was damn near on every show and in the main event. Around the time I stopped watching, he was non-stop. I'm like,
God,
damn,
yeah.
Tony likes some fucking Orange.
Yeah.
I was like, I like him too, but that's a guy you use sparingly, not weekly, or his shtick's gonna get old fast. And luckily, he took some time off after all of that and got away out of the. He did the opposite of Jericho. He went away before it got too stagnant.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. Y'all ready to continue?
Yeah.
All right, let's get it.
Ross, he was a huge part of last year. And this year, before his injury, he was just wrestling, in my opinion, at the very, very highest level. And that match with Will Ospreay and Hangman Page to determine who would win the Owen Hart Foundation Cup and who would go on to All in Texas to wrestle Mox for the world title. Hangman won the match, and Hangman versus Will Ospreay, I think they're both great challengers and 2 great stars that you can build a promotion around. And what a great night Double or Nothing was, I thought, and what a great main event they had. Will Ospreay is somebody I'm glad you asked about. He's recovering from the injuries. I talk to him regularly. He's doing better.
Is it a neck?
It's a neck.
Yeah.
And I think he's been pretty open about it. So I don't want to talk out of turn about some of these injuries, but Will's been pretty open that he's on the recovery. He's on the mend. He really appreciates the support from all the fans around the world. And Will Ospreay is going to be back in AEW, or I think hopefully earlier next year. I can't say exactly when, but it'll be next year.
That's good
And
news.
I hope it'll be in the first half of next year.
Okay.
And he's one of our great stars, so I think it is great news because certainly when Will Ospreay's on the shows every week, it's great for us.
I lied. One more name, Adam Cole.
That's hard. That's hard. Adam Cole, I love so much, and I think Adam Cole's such a great wrestler.
Wow, he got real sad, didn't he?
I think Adam Cole is shot in the ring. He's just his body. He's injured all the fucking time. You could tell that they wanted him to be one of those guys with Punk to main event and get that top. You know for years the plan was to go with Cole, and Cole kept getting injured. He just keeps getting. He just can't handle like him and Hangman were like those top two guys before Tony had his hands on Ospreay or anything like that. You could tell they wanted Adam Cole to be that guy. And Adam Cole can't be that guy because he falls apart. He just, the in-ring and the ears of how he did it, I don't think he can, bro. I think Punk has a better chance of wrestling a 20-minute match in WWE than Adam Cole wrestling in an AEW main event and being able to survive and not go home after. And that's like almost a 10-year difference in age.
Yeah, 15 probably. You ready to continue with what he says?
Sure.
But also he's a really good friend. And it was very, very hard when I got the phone call the morning of All In Texas that Adam Cole was not feeling well. And he's had injuries, and it's no secret some of the injuries he's experienced have been head injuries. And it was terrible when Adam Cole had the ankle injury and when he needed time to recover, it was just, you don't want to see him in so much pain, but also it could have been, that alone could have been a career-ending injury, and he was out for over a year. And he came back from that, and he was wrestling at such a high level. And I was really excited about what Adam Cole had done in 2025 to work his way into a top position and become the TNT champion. And it was a great comeback story. And
but
I know, right? Another one.
So it sounds like not just the fragileness, the head injuries are a big question if Cole can ever compete again. But with Tony's being sincere, you could tell us his friend, but it sounds like Cole is in question for concussion protocol.
Yeah.
If anything, it's like just have him from backstage.
Oh, yeah, that'd be easy. And then, of course,
a trainer position, backstage.
You could give him a job. The problem is the plan was, I really think he was going to be the guy to beat Punk. I think it was going to be him and not Hank. I really do. Think he was going to be the guy they were going to pass the torch to and lead AEW and be their company guy. And it's not going to happen now. I really believe that. I've said it for years. I said I felt like they wanted Adam Cole to be their new Punk.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
That he was able to tell us when he didn't feel good about wrestling anymore. And
do you think he's done?
I think it would have to be the right situation for Adam to wrestle again. I think it's at least possible that we would keep Adam as part of the family. But I want to get to where he feels good about traveling and doing things every week again. But I've been open with him that when he's ready, there's always a role in AEW for him. He had been a commentator at times, and he's been one of the hosts of the shows. He's great for that. He's a great talent. He could be involved in a lot of things. And if he ever did want to wrestle again and it was the right situation and everybody could wrap their heads around it, so to speak, I think that it could make a lot of sense. But if anything involving head injuries or serious injuries, I always want to look at it and evaluate, does this make sense? And is there an opportunity to do this safely where it's going to be a good outcome for everybody?
What is AEW Shockwave?
Well, it's just an idea. I file lots of different names and ideas of shows and things like that. And that was a name that I actually at the time did not know anybody else had used. And I had a really...
You know why I love that word, Shockwave? You know what it reminds me of? Pride FC back in the day. You know, Pride was the dominant... They were the WCW to the UFC's UFC or WWE, and
He actually talking about Shockwave? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were the number one, and they had a
there was a thing where it came to light that Tony trademarked the name, and a couple of football players were talking about it on the field, and it made the media, and that's how I found out about it. People thought that Tony was introducing a new show or something, and it was going to be called this, or that the Saturday Night Show would be going away, being replaced by possibly. So that's where the Shockwave thing comes in.
Let's talk about it.
show called Pride Shockwave. And so when I heard that you trademarked Shockwave, it brought back all these nostalgic feelings from the old MMA in Japan. And so I was wondering what you were going to do with that.
I'm probably not going to do it. I had a really nice talk with Billy, and Billy Corgan, who owns the NWA. I like Billy, and even before I became a wrestling promoter, I had met him, and I think he's just a great artist, and I like him. So when I talked to him on the phone, I said, if that's a show that you might do again, and because NWA had done a Shockwave, I guess Pride had done it before then. But then NWA had done a Shockwave, which I didn't know at the time when we filed it. And then I talked to him and said, if that's something you want to do and you did it first, then you can do that. That's fine. And he said, oh, that's great. I appreciate that. So that was nice.
Did you talk to him about the national title as well?
I did.
Yes.
I had a great talk with him about that, which was to say...
that will be...
We're gonna get all the good, juicy shit now.
Oh yeah.
Well, wait a minute, because let's think about what Tony just said. Okay, Tony just told Billy Corgan, y'all had an NWA Shockwave, y'all were before us. If it's something you're gonna use again, I'm cool. Now we're gonna go to the complete opposite corner of the room. The NWA was the first with the national title, but now Tony Khan has his own. So let's hear this spin.
Yeah.
Introduced this weekend, right?
Yes, it will be. And again, I have a lot of respect for him. I like the NWA, and I like Billy a lot personally. And what I told him is, this is going to be our really for AEW. This will be an AEW championship. It's a new lineage, and I think it's cool that Billy's been able to keep the legacy of the NWA alive, and that's an operating promotion. And this is an AEW championship, so. A lot of wrestling organizations have been on TBS over the years. And AEW now, I'm really, like I said, very proud. Dynamite, we're on for over 6 years now. And one of the companies that goes back and has a history also, going back in the 1980s, would be the NWA through the territories and the promotions who operated through Jim Crockett Promotions. And when Jim Crockett Promotions and Georgia came together, because Georgia Championship Wrestling is another one of these promotions, and then the companies that existed after that. And the national title, it's a different national title, but there hasn't been anybody that was the national champion on TBS since 1986.
Wow.
So this will be a new national title, a new lineage, as Billy and I were talking about. But we had a really nice talk, and I enjoyed talking to him about it. And I told him, there are things we do that are tributes to the history in wrestling, but in this case, this is a new title with a new legacy, and he gave me his blessing for it, and it was a nice talk. And it's good when the promoters can reach out and just connect about things.
All right, I'm gonna go piss again because I gotta pee again because I drank a lot of water.
I gotta grab something real quick too.
But
I won't be that long though.
Yeah, me either. I'll be right back. Josh, you need to do anything while we're out?
Flog the willy.
Flog the willy, then do the helicopter.
No, I'm good. It was like, this is getting interesting about the champ. I guess Billy Corgan's cool with this. So,
well, what's Corgan gonna say? I mean, it's NWA. NWA is a joke today. They have no TV deal. If anything, you're gonna be sucking Tony's dick. If anything, he should have begged for a partnership.
I agree.
If anybody's dead today, it's NWA.
Damn right. Jeez, oh Pete. Well, I guess here I'm the only one left here. Everybody went to go pee. Yo. So this has been a interesting interview with Tony Khan. We're getting a lot of answers, but to me, just a lot of running around and a lot of Dynamite references. It's on Wednesday nights, as Jordan would say, and on Saturday. It's Collision. So
Yeah.
Heck, if we could have did a drinking game to this, man, we'd be fucking fucked up by now.
You bet. Try this one. If you take, all right, we've got Saturday Night Collision. Okay, I'm not cutting a joke here either. We got Saturday Night Collision, and we have ROH talent that fights on this show. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if NWA meant a damn, or if Tony Khan gave a shit, why not have you a little NWA versus ROH war on Saturday nights to get some ratings, or get some different talent on there, have some matches? I'm like, Tony Khan obviously does not. He's friendly with Billy and all that. You know, maybe would like the TV rights to NWA one day or buy him out, but Tony Khan obviously does not really give a shit about NWA modern day.
Nobody
Well,
does.
well, he did have a relationship with Billy Corgan for a little while.
He quickly dropped it when it was the lowest ball in the room too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, when you start out, you're gonna grab everybody. We had Nick Aldis and Cody for the 10 pounds of gold at All In. Y'all remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's still a lot of Nick, and he had to get Billy's favor. But they did all this. Not to mention, All In was run by the then ROH production crew. So yeah. But once you don't need anybody, you buy them out. So to me, that just tells me that NWA is so low on Tony Khan's totem pole. He's just being friendly, but he doesn't give a shit or about any of their. He's not even trying to get their talent, anything.
I don't blame
Well,
him.
there's not much talent there left, you know.
He
Right.
got
I mean,
other
but
talent. Originally, he got Ricky Starks. He had Thunder Rosa. That was the only two people. And Eddie Kingston. Those are the only three people he ever grabbed from NWA.
yeah, and he rolled out after that saying, I'm bigger than this now. That's small time. Okay, now I'm going to buy Ring of Honor. You know, all of this shit. Okay, now I'm going to have a partnership with CMLL because I'm gonna copy New Japan again, just like I stole their business model. Now I'm going to have partners all over the world so I can be like them because that's the answer. So it's, it's weird.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Shockwave, if they're going to do a show called that, and I said, if you've done it before me, that's yours. But I also didn't know that Pride had done it.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
I thought it was a tip of the cap to those days, but I guess, okay, we'll keep it on ice.
I don't know like 1% of what you do about MMA.
It's all good.
I'm not like a super expert. I'm a fan and I like it, but I'm not like the big expert who knows everything
No,
about
you
MMA.
are that guy in wrestling. And that's your thing. I've
yeah,
heard
but you like both, and you're an expert on both. But it's cool. Like I've gone with Mox to UFC, and he knows everything.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we sat in the front row, and like he knew everybody and told me everything, and the backgrounds of the fighters and who trains with who.
There's a lot of similarities between MMA and wrestling with the storylines, the good guys, the bad guys. It's just not as overt, but it's all right there, and everything is copied, and now they're under the same umbrella. I promise I'll let you go in a moment, but this has been a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have as well. Ring of Honor and a TV deal for them. What's interesting, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but WWE has a deal with Netflix, with CW, with USA, with ESPN. Is there any real estate left for Ring of Honor?
Ooh.
This game.
This is going to be interesting.
You're not.
This might be one of the better questions, and this is going to be an interesting ass response right here because we know Tony wanted an ROH TV deal. We know he gave Punk the Saturday night show and fucked everything up. I mean, let's see how he gets around this one. I bet you he says there's a. Oh, sure. Would I like to get an RH TV deal? Is there an opportunity and win that across? Sure. Yes, I'd love to. I bet you that comes across eventually.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And at times there have been opportunities to do things for Ring of Honor, but I think they have to make sense. We did this insanely awesome, great media rights deal that's so good for AEW, and I'm so happy because I think we deliver really great value, and it gets great value for us, which is the perfect media rights deal. We have the perfect partner with Warner Brothers Discovery, we did this deal where it set up Dynamite, Collision, and the pay-per-views. And is there room for Ring of Honor? I absolutely believe so. And there's been good conversations with us and them. I've had other media partners reach out about doing things with Ring of Honor and other companies that we have never worked with.
So it's possible.
Yeah, but I
just
think it
said
has to
that
make sense for
about
everybody. And also, the
NWA.
most important relationship for AEW is always going to be Warner Brothers Discovery between myself and David Zasloff and the leadership there. So anything I do, I want to make sense for everybody. So I have actually rebuffed other offers at times from outside. And if we do it, I would love to do something with Warner Brothers Discovery, but again, it has to be a deal that makes sense for everybody, and it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly, you know, as big as the AEW deal, but it's still got to be pretty good.
Okay.
And it's got to make sense for everyone. So we've never been able to find the sweet spot. So I think it's perfect to do what we've been doing to focus on the sweet spot we have right now with AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery, and then for Ring of Honor, we have a nice service. We've been having a really good year with Ring of Honor, and people that watch the shows would attest to that because there's been a really good support, and I think there's been a sentiment this year, more than in the other years that I've owned the promotion, more than any year since the first year when there was no TV, when it was just pay-per-views, and everyone was like, wow, this was like just 3 awesome pay-per-views this first year. People loved that. And then people thought maybe there was the first year, I think, if people loved the 3 shows. You have to say so much of it comes down to when you have the Briscoes FTR trilogy across the 3 shows. That's a big chunk of it. But there were so many other great moments, including the arrival of Samoa Joe at the end of the very first show. And he's such an important figure, including to this day, to right now in AEW. And those shows people love, but there was no.
We just got the best answer Tony Khan has given all night. He just told us why Ring of Honor does not have a TV deal.
Yep.
And it's very simple. You can't. They don't want him to do Ring of Honor on another network that's not Warner Bros. Discovery, and Warner Bros. Discovery. Even though he admitted it would be a smaller deal, they're not willing to fork out a deal for it. So he has to keep it on ice.
Yep.
TV. So across the shows of AEW, I had a lot of Ring of Honor involvement. People probably thought that was more than they'd like. So now there's a lot less of that, but Ring of Honor has its own show, and you still see appearances and the stories flow together. And there's wrestlers that appear, whether it's Athena, who's been an amazing women's world champion now for almost 3 years in Ring of Honor, or Bandito, who was the Ring of Honor world champion before I even owned the promotion and was a great face of Ring of Honor. And then when he came back and returned to AEW, it's a great thing because he's the Ring of Honor world champion, but he's also an AEW tag team champion. We have these people that are involved in the AEW shows. Now Mercedes Moné is the interim Ring of Honor TV champion, and she'll be wrestling
this weekend.
Well, she'll be wrestling tomorrow to settle the Ring of Honor title before her match this weekend. That's the kind of schedule Mercedes wrestles. We have Dynamite in Boston tomorrow. It's a 3-hour.
Such a hard worker.
Yeah.
Darn, I wish I had her schedule.
Dynamite and Collision. So on that show tomorrow, on the 3-hour special, Mercedes is going to wrestle Red Velvet, who is the Ring of Honor TV champion.
There's the poster right there.
And she's been out injured. There's going to be this great tag team match we see. Timeless Tony Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. Timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa versus Alex Windsor and Riho in the quarterfinals of the tag team tournament. That's going to be a great tag team match.
We know who's winning that
special. But you asked me about Ring of Honor. Mercedes actually beat Mina Shirakawa, who's in that match, to win the interim TV championship. Red Velvet, the Ring of Honor TV champion, has been out injured. She did some great things for us as the champion and continues to be a great champion, but she was out injured, and we've had a great partnership with CMLL.
Go ahead, Mike. What you got?
Dude, the only thing I got, man, is
Tony Khan should be a politician?
no. He's dancing, man. He's dancing.
He's
all
being
around.
he's doing the politician, bro. That's what he's doing. He's going to give you the politically correct answers, not try to tread on anybody's toes, come across as nice, but tell you how great him and his promotion and his deals are. He's being the politician.
Well, it sucks.
It does suck, but we're in a made-up world of podcasts where Hawani's not gonna bust his chops like he should, like a real interviewer. Most news reporters today softball everybody, unless it's a political side and they hate the other side. This is the world we live in. You're not gonna get a straight up. This is not the 90s when Vince got interviewed and they pissed him off in the Attitude Era, and he was getting ready to hit the guy interviewing him. You're not gonna get that. You've got millennials here or whatnot playing nice ball. He's got Tony on his show. People are gonna watch. That watch this kind of stuff. People like us that like the behind the scenes, the insides. But he's not gonna peel it back. The only real information Tony Khan has given us is that it looks very bad for Adam Cole with the head injuries, and that it looks very unlikely that he'll be able to return anytime soon. It might be an edge situation, or he might have to go into a new career. And the Ring of Honor deal is pretty much being held up because Time Warner Discovery refuses to give them a deal and won't let them get a deal with an opposing network. So that's the two things Tony Khan has given us out of this entire hour plus interview.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, it sucks hard. It does. But so does Tony Khan.
Yes.
Top Lucha Libre promotion. They've been around for over 92 years. And this year, our most watched event and one of the most successful AEW events ever was our first ever show in Mexico with them, AEW Grand Slam Mexico.
Right.
And we had an ROH Global Wars event that coincided with that. That was a great, great event. And we saw some of the top stars from Ring of Honor involved in the CMLL shows. And Red Velvet's done a great job representing AEW and ROH in Mexico. She got injured. She's back now. She's going to wrestle Mercedes to settle the ROH TV title tomorrow. And that's before Mercedes wrestles for the AEW World title this Saturday versus Chris Statlander. And like you, I'm a big Statlander fan. I think she's tremendous. I think a lot of the AEW fans who've been watching from the very beginning really like to see Chris Statlander succeeding and thriving as a world champion. And I think that Mercedes has got a huge match Saturday, but I think it's really commendable that she takes on this schedule, fights people all over the world, and she's got this big match in her hometown tomorrow versus Red Velvet. That will be a big Ring of Honor match on AEW TV, but there aren't that many huge ROH matches like that. We don't normally settle the championships on TV. This is a huge occasion for a match like this one or weeks ago on Collision when Bandito wrestled Mascara Dorada. If there's a huge, huge match, maybe I'll put the Ring of Honor on AEW, but most of the Ring of Honor matches are focused on the Ring of Honor TV. And the fans who watch it have been saying that they think this is the best year of the Ring of Honor shows. The pay-per-views have really delivered, and just...
Your journey just...
I'll give it that with Ring of Honor pay-per-views. When they do put a pay-per-view on, it's good.
I got something. Y'all, think about how many, all right, just Tony Khan referencing his current in-ring talent. What has Tony Khan said about everybody in his company that he currently wrestles for him, not past, but current? What is though he says the same thing about everybody. Tremendous respect, love him, big part of the company. If I was Ariel Helwani, you know what I would ask him?
Go for it.
Who in AEW is not a great worker and a great... That's what because that's what he keeps saying. I would say, oh, if they're such a big part of AEW, I'd say, okay, Tony Khan, who's not a big part of AEW that works for you? That's the kind of questions we want to hear. We're not going to get it, but that's what we should hear.
And he would dance around that one 100%.
And if Tony Khan was smart, he would play up like at the time when he was heel, or the Bucks were heel against him, or somebody, or an MJF who gets spicy with him. I would play into it and be like, well, those Bucks, they're kind of a problem, but we're not going to get that kind of creativity here because of who we're dealing with. Yeah. If Vince McMahon would have been, damn that Austin, or that damn DX, he'd have done something, but.
Portfolio. Anyway. Some of the best matches in wrestling this year have been Bandito's Ring of Honor matches, whether it's Bandito versus Takeshita in Dallas, Bandito versus Hechicero in Philadelphia, his matches in Mexico versus Mascara Dorada, the match he just had a couple weeks ago versus Mascara Dorada, the rematch.
It's amazing how you rifle off all this stuff. It's you live and breathe this. I do want to ask you about this. I had Matt and Jeff Hardy on in July.
I'm going to say this real quick. Everything Tony just said, all those luchadors, those names, not a single mainstream wrestling fan who watches Ariel Helwani, mainstream fan, casual, gives a shit about not a Takeshita, not a Hechicero, whatever he said. No one cares, dude. Everybody went, who? I'm just throwing that out there. I respect those guys, but no casual watching this show gives a shit about any of that.
Oh, I know.
You hope they know who or what a bandito is. That's all I got.
And I asked them, like, what do you make of this WWE TNA partnership? And Matt said to me, like, let's be honest, it's to hurt AEW. Do you view it that way as well? That's the way he put it.
He's gonna say
I really
no,
like
but-
Matt and Jeff a lot. I like Matt and Jeff a lot, and I loved working with them when they were in AEW, and I still love Matt and Jeff very much. If they
And I don't think it was malicious.
I don't think at all. And
but do you think that that's the impetus?
I respect that opinion a lot. I think
you agree with it.
I think it's probably true, and I respect that
It
Matt
is
said
true.
it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, and I think Matt's a great guy. I think Jeff's a
What
great
do you
guy.
make of that? The fact that they're so tight now.
It's interesting. I think it's a very interesting collaboration, but I think Matt hit the nail on the head that it makes sense. And AEW is a very strong challenger brand, and it's not that unusual. Like
You take it as a compliment,
yeah,
perhaps.
absolutely. Like, you know, I remember when WCW was starting to do better and Smoky Mountain Wrestling was running shows in Georgia, that Vince McMahon called up Jim Cornette and sent a bunch of the WWF wrestlers to Smoky Mountain Wrestling to help
History repeating itself.
compete with WCW. So I do think, like, when you have a strong challenger brand, it's not that unusual to see the WWF collaborate with another company. We saw that with Smoky Mountain there, and in Memphis, I think, did some of the same things to compete with WCW shows. So it's not that unusual. And again, I don't take it personally at all. It makes sense looking at the wrestling playbook of the WWF.
When you saw that picture of Jade, Ricky, Cody, and I believe Punk in there, you know, all with ties to your.
I know that he could say what he wants. He could play it off. I know that he knew that picture was like in your face, Tony. We know how to make your people stars. You don't.
Organization. How did that make you feel?
It was. I saw that, and I think AEW is having a great year. I think AEW is in a fantastic place.
Don't forget about
I think the
Dynamite on
roster
Wednesday.
right now is delivering great shows, and I'm really proud of what AEW is doing right now.
On
It
Wednesday and
did
Saturdays.
make me smile because it reminded me of Double or Nothing 2020, the first pandemic pay-per-view. We put on this great pay-per-view, and Cody won the TNT title, and Mox retained the AEW World title versus the late, great Mr. Brody Lee. May he rest in peace. And after the show, Cody and Mox in the area of Daly's Place that is the kind of the one communal area. It's part of what brings everyone together so much in Daly's Place is like the gorilla and the pre-tape space and the live interview space and the hallway. It's all one thing that connects the amphitheater itself. There's just a very small little backstage, and it's very tight, and it's talent viewing. It's everything, and that's why, like, when people are doing promos, there might be 6 rows of wrestlers sitting 5 feet from them behind the camera watching them do it. But it's just, we're all used to it. And after Double or Nothing 2020, Cody and Mox took a photo, and I thought it was interesting. It just reminded me, just shows how far in the mirror. But I remember the photo that Cody and Mox took, and in that moment, I think I took it on my phone.
Wow.
So
when you see that, like, is there pride there? Do you feel like it's a shot at you? Do you feel like
I have relationships with all 4 of them, and they're very
all
different. I
good?
could talk for 2 hours about each of the 4 of them and why I like them and why I thought they were great in AEW, and we could talk about all their matches, or I could talk about how much I like them all as people. But you know, they're all not wrestling in AEW anymore. And but to be completely honest with you, I just thought that photo, and it made me think of Double or Nothing 2020 and being there in Jacksonville and taking that photo on my phone and remembering that night and thinking, man, it's crazy how 5.5 years have flown by.
Okay, one more I'll ask you, and then I'll let you go. And thank you again for all this time. This has been a lot of fun.
Make it a good one, Dick.
There's some complaints about fans being priced out with the WWE events. Do you look at what they are charging? Do you look at things like WrestleMania going to Saudi, and there were some people saying like, hey, AEW should run a show that weekend for the American fans. Are you looking at these things that they're doing, and just like they're trying to clearly counter program your stuff, do you try to counter their moves sometimes as well?
I would do a U.S. show on there,
gain more fans and garner this relationship with the fan base.
But I
like
would.
a lot of the things we're saying, I think there's a balance. I'm cognizant of what people are saying, and I'm cognizant of their pricing. I think the AEW pricing, which is lower, and WWE shows are more expensive.
Should we end it here, or should we finish?
No, let it go, because I want to see if Ariel's going to try to get it out of him at the end of this because he sees dancing around it. Tony's not going to want to tell you he's going to counter pro. He's going to wait till they're all set in stone. They're going, and then all of a sudden there's nothing they can do short of NXT. And he would be a fool not to run a show up there in the Northeast somewhere against WWE and Saudi at Mania. He would be stupid not to. And the independent wrestling world the indies would love it because they're going to focus around AEW. They have no WWE to go to town and have their shows all week. They will go around AEW and everybody will pretend it's life without WWE.
What would you name the show?
Huh?
What would you name the show?
I don't know about I could speculate if Tony wanted to be petty or whatever, or you know,
like double or ain't around WrestleMania time. Ain't that like double or nothing time?
Yeah. I would almost move it if you. I would almost move that and do a double or nothing out there in New York or New Jersey or somewhere up there, and you get all the independents.
I would do it right dead in the middle of the United States. That way, it'd be central for everybody to go to.
But
do
what
it in a huge arena?
What huge arena in what state in central? WWE doesn't do good in the center. They do Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, California,
this is a whole
Vegas.
Different ball game, though, Jordan. This right here is a whole different ball game. If he puts a real big, if there's the biggest stadium in that center of America,
it'd be the United Center. It would be the United Center in Chicago.
Well, Chicago. I know it is. I don't call that the center myself. I think of that as more to the right. I mean, when you tell me the center, I'm imagining from Louisiana and Arkansas straight up the boot, all the way up there, Missouri or Arkansas going straight up. I'm like, there's not much there. I'm like, there's New York.
I would do it in St. Louis, Missouri.
Ooh, it's such a bad place right now for violence, man.
Yeah, that's a bad place.
Yeah, that's
there's
like
really no big arena.
But dude, this is in 2 years from now.
It is, but man, what's you?
You're looking for a big stadium.
You need an attraction.
The only ones I can think of that's indoors would be United Center.
That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad.
Indianapolis, where the Colts play, but I don't think you'd be able to get that because they got a deal with WWE now, so that's off the table.
Well, he could get it in 2 years, probably.
I think they got like a 3-year deal where they could do 3 shows or something like that.
Here's the big selling point, though. You want to get a state and an area that you could tour, that people can. That's why New Orleans is so popular. It's the Big Easy, everybody parties. You go to California, you've got Beverly. You go to California, there's things to see and do. There's plenty of hotels. You go to Vegas, you're surrounded by the entertainment capital. You go to Florida, there's beach and shit to do. You go in the middle of Tornado, Kansas, or some shit like that, there's nothing to do.
Yeah, there's nothing out there.
Michigan doesn't have a decent city anymore to host show and to have events to be able to do and things to see, like talk about. I mean, there's just
I figured it out, dude. I got it. Y'all gonna hate me. Y'all ready for it?
Not if the city has something to do and enough hotels.
Dallas. Do it at
that's in my top 5. That's in my top 5 because that would work. You've got enough people, enough space for people to travel. Texas isn't just all wide open. There are some cities where you have some shit to do. If I had to pick the 5 locations Tony Khan would pick to do this, I would pick Texas. I'm not in no order. I'd pick Texas, California, New York / New Jersey, possibly. Oh, I mean, they're technically based in Florida, but I mean, you could do Florida, and maybe like Josh said, the United Center. That's the 5 I think that you have to go with.
Here's my 5, and this is in, like you said, no particular order. All right, one of them, Texas,
which they already did. So
yeah, he has. The next one, Missouri. The third one, maybe not Indianapolis or somewhere in Chicago, Indianapolis area.
somewhere around there would make sense. It's a
Yes, or
definite.
even Ohio, for fuck's sake.
It's a possibility. Is there enough to do in Ohio and enough to
Mhm.
bring? Can you get 80,000 people in a big stadium out there and have
Yeah.
enough hotel and everything to make it work in Ohio? You know, can you?
What
Yeah.
what's the honestly what's to do in Ohio?
Dude,
Yeah,
there's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There is the
it's about it.
there's Cooperstown, which is the Baseball Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame.
There's stuff like that, but you also surround. I mean, Ohio is one of the biggest heroin states and slash yeehaw, like from down here like us, but up there in the north. I was shocked by some of it, but yeah, it's kind of like a redneck state in a way, dude. It's not exactly
It
like a
is.
luxurious party.
No, it's not. But
I
think
was
about
debating. I was debating, and I don't know if there's a place decent enough or big enough or the location. But I was like, what about North Carolina? Something along the coast. I
North
was like,
Carolina.
I was
But
like, what about something like that? You know, old horseman territory. Get people to go. Oh, I've never been there. I'll go over there and go fly across the country and watch the. I mean, we know Vegas is not a question. Vegas ain't
Honestly,
happening.
the only other choice I could think of, if they can nail it, would be putting a knife in the back of WWE's
Madison
MSG,
Square Garden.
MSG.
Madison Square Garden.
That was
That
one of
would
my picks. That's one of my picks.
that would be my. If Tony wants to go full out, where this is what y'all get for fucking with me and all of that, and Madison Square Garden would be the one. Even though it's expensive and you can't fit 1 million people in it, it would be the show off
Yeah.
venue and have everything based around there, and then all the smaller companies go to the ballroom and all of that, and
Yeah.
all week long it would. That's why I keep saying New York, New Jersey. All that's on the table when I say that. All of that's on the table.
Or what I would do, and this is just hypothetical. Why not do 3 big shows? 3 big shows.
Not at the
Three
same
different-
time.
No. At different times, different weeks, one after the other. Do 3 shows back to back weeks. That way, dude, it would fuck up WWE.
I don't know because that puts a risk on. You got to have your storyline set up. Who's fighting who? If somebody gets injured, are you prepared enough to have a standby? What happens if on match of night 2 of these 3 weeks of fights, one of your big names goes? How does that affect That's my only concern. It's not a horrible idea, but I would do one big show, and I think there's enough wrestling that week with the independents that's gonna rally around AEW instead of WrestleMania. I think that's enough with the signings, the spectacle, these smaller shows you can go see for cheap. I mean, the only thing WWE can do is book the NXT against them. That's all they can fucking do.
Or send NXT like what Ring of Honor did, man. Bring Ring of Honor to Mania, and they can send NXT to their show.
I mean, my only thing. I mean, the only way they would they be willing to? They have the money, but would they be willing to do something so stupid as Madison Square Garden NXT Takeover? I mean, versus an AEW show. Would they be dumb enough to buy Madison Square Garden to do a modern day NXT? Not even gold, but
No, man. No, there's honestly right now I'm watching NXT doing because they just did what WWE just did a Madison Square Garden. Was it Monday?
Yeah.
And now they're putting NXT at, I think it's one of the side buildings of Madison Square Garden. So
right,
yeah.
and that's because not only you're not going to fill up the building on NXT talent, even though it doesn't fit like the modern stadiums, but MSG is one of the most, because of the name. It's so expensive to run the power in that building. That's why Vince didn't like running it after a while. He was like, I go in these big venues for half price, and y'all charge it too much. Oh, but don't let the competition go there. It was.
You know what's cool though, man? Y'all want to know what's really funny? We've been talking about this for over 2.5 hours, and this fucking thing's still not over.
Well, I think you ought to press the button and let's go ahead and finish her up.
All right. I mean,
We
I don't
might-
mind. We've been talking for 3 hours. 3 hours, actually.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Ariel's gonna try to maybe throw in a half-ass question of. I think he's gonna end the interview and they're gonna walk away as friends, and that way he can get Tony back. And he knows this is gonna do huge numbers for him, and he wanted to fix the friendship. Tony said it when he first sat down at the table. He's like, and the other guy was like, I think we got off on the wrong foot. I want to be friends with. So this is kind of a back scratching deal. Tony gets to talk about the same shit over and over, and Errol Hawani gets his AEW / Tony Khan interview. But that's what this is. And we got two real answers to two important questions, even though I don't think Tony realized he answered them for us. He tried to dance around it.
For the fans than AEW, and when it comes to the ticketing and the pricing. Now we have different models when it comes to the distribution. I think that what we do is very good, and it's been working for us. From the very beginning of AEW, whether it was on the beginning calls, like before we'd ever done a live event, talking about the original shows and saying before we'd ever done a Dynamite, being on the phone, and Cody was in some of these phone calls, and Matt and Nick and different people, and talking about how
Well, damn.
Well, that just happened, didn't it, gentlemen?
Yeah, that just happened. That's how I feel like I'd like Tony Khan to do to him and get him to answer some real questions.
Kick him right in the ass.
I kicked him in his ass. I had to.
Damn, dude. Here we go.
I stuck her with my wang.
Yep. Stuck her with my wang.
there to be tickets that were in that range of somewhere from $20 to $30 for the fans to be able to get in to the TV shows every week, and that was going to be a consistent theme in AEW. And there still is inexpensive ticketing, and the get-in price is usually pretty fair compared to the competition. It's always lower, and the ringside seats are also, they're more expensive than the highest tier of seats in the arena, but they are still more affordable than our competition, and they always have been, and I hope that they always will be, and I'll try to keep that affordable pricing. That's something I care about, making sure that families and friends can get into the event, go to the show, and people who really care about being in the front row or being really close to the ring, people that will be willing to pay a little bit more for the ticket than just getting into the event, and people that really care about that really close ringside seat. It's still the most affordable ringside seat you're going to get for major TV wrestling and pay-per-views. We're having this great, great year, but that's something that has been consistent from the beginning. And the pay-per-view price, as I was saying earlier, the pay-per-view price has been the same for cable and satellite from the very beginning on every provider, and now we actually offer the lowest price ever on HBO Max. So I think that's also been good. Now we're actually offering more affordable than ever pricing plan. And I will say this, because this is really interesting information.
Okay.
I didn't know this till I started doing the media rights deal for AEW this past year. So doing the research and
he didn't even answer it.
Of course
Tickets are
not.
affordable for Dynamite, which is on Wednesday.
Yeah, and tickets are affordable so you can put asses in seats so the venue's not empty. You're not making them affordable because you want to. You're dropping the price because you need human beings in the building.
I agree with that statement.
Butts in
analysts,
seats.
I learned things I didn't know about AEW. Of all the sports leagues in the world, of every league, from NBA, NFL, MLB, WWE, UFC, PGA, and every sports league, the league that has the highest spending on streaming video per month is AEW.
Okay.
Now, our fans, I'm not saying AEW is the biggest league in the world. The NFL is the biggest league in the world. But AEW has the most avid, loyal fans in the world.
I feel that, by the way. Sometimes they come after me. Can you tell them that I'm not so bad?
I think today,
they come after me.
I think you're going to be a fan favorite.
You think
today.
so? Because they came after me for like 3 years.
I think you've
not
done
very
a big,
nice.
big baby face turn.
Is this my turn?
Yeah, I think it was.
I feel like this is my turn.
Especially because you asked me all these questions that were very legitimate questions, and I think hopefully I've also
It was all very fair. Yeah,
I think
we've
I've
come a long way from Montreal.
I have.
That?
We've done
It was awful.
Done a good job, and
we showed people that you can get off.
The cocksucking has begun.
It has. I think it's about over.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah,
on the
that was
wrong
kind
foot,
of
but
rough.
then get on the right foot.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I also,
And they stop, hounding me. They think that I'm a paid shill.
well, I think you've shown that you're a very balanced, fair guy. You asked me a lot of good questions,
He
and I
wants that
really respect that. And also,
AEW people
like I said,
to.
I've enjoyed the interviews you've been doing with some AEW
We do more of
wrestlers.
them.
I hope you will. Yeah, and that's why also when we hadn't really been sending AEW people, but I was interested because I saw you were saying some good stuff. I thought you did that great interview with Maven.
Maven's the man.
Maven's the man, and he was a really.
I think you guys
Who
should have
dogs
him on the
WWE?
broadcast.
Maven's the man who dogs WWE all the time.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah. So I know Tony Khan loves Maven, of course. Yeah, he might not be on the AEW payroll, but he hates WWE. I mean, when you're gonna talk shit about Undertaker, bro, you better have some distance between you.
Yeah, true story.
I think he's a great broadcaster.
You know what's
He's a color analyst.
You know what's amazing? You want to hear something cool I've never said publicly?
I like that.
Yeah,
One of the
please.
people the person who is largely responsible for getting me into pro wrestling. I've been a fan my whole life, but I had never been backstage at a show, and I never really believed that I could take it to the next level. And I got to work with him through football because we both believe in protecting the players and doing everything we can to make football safe. And it's the man who started the Concussion Foundation with Chris Nowinski.
Nowinski, yes.
And Dr. Chris Nowinski is one of my really great friends.
Wow.
And Chris Nowinski was on Tough Enough, and the final three on Tough Enough were Chris Nowinski and Maven, who came in and did this great thing with us. And so I was joking with Chris because Chris and I are still really close, and he also comes in every year to talk to the wrestlers and gives a really serious speech because I want them to hear it about head safety and them. They want to take these high risks and chances, but I want them to hear it straight from Chris that it's really important that they are cognizant and that they hear the message.
The what?
And not use glass and Cry Me a River.
Also, he's saying all of this, and he was depressed when he came up. That points back to me at Adam Cole. I think that's Tony Khan's first brush with seeing somebody with severe concussion.
CTE.
Yeah, well, we're not going to say he has CTE yet, but for somebody, I think this is Tony Khan's first real life experience with someone who has had more than one head. I mean, we know that Matt Hardy took some bad ones in a few years back, but seeing that he's an older man that had a career, seeing Adam Cole, who's never really reached his full potential, go through this, and a friend of his, I think that strikes a chord, and I think he's all about the state that he'll do the crazy shit, cut yourselves up, dancing glass, but watch out for the head, bro.
Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
He's giving that it really we want to be as safe as possible because Chris was a pro wrestler.
Yeah, I remember.
And he cares about this. So Chris comes in every year, and I see him, and I talk to him regularly outside of the shows. And I was telling Chris, I had this great interaction with Maven, and I hadn't ever talked to him. The only time I'd ever really seen him in person was after a house show on Halloween when I was in college, Halloween 2004. And I brought that up to Maven when he was shooting his video, and he was like, thought that was really neat. That
I remember this.
And he was such a nice guy, so I was telling Chris that. But the other reason I bring this up is Josh Matthews now works in our production.
That's right.
And he's in the truck, and Josh is now a big part of the production team, and he's working with Mike Mansuri and Daryl and all the guys.
Mike may be my favorite person in the business. Mike Mansuri.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. I
Really?
adore Mike. Yes.
That's all. I love Mike.
I met him. I met him right before the pandemic. He was still at WWE, and he took me on a tour backstage. And I was like, "This guy's the coolest." And then he left like a week later, and then he went to work for Pat McAfee, if you recall. And then now he's working for you in a high production. And love him.
He's the head of global production.
His wife is wonderful as well.
Corey's amazing.
Yes. So you've got Renee. I'm a big fan of Renee.
Renee's awesome.
I'm a big fan of a lot of your guys. I think
this is good. I think we just needed to do it in person.
Yeah,
and
in person.
isn't it always much more pleasant in person? And
What the fuck?
We're about done with it.
Yeah.
They're gonna go in the back and suck each other off now and say, Hawani could say, now I have AEW people that will check out my content and give me greater numbers because I didn't say bad things about AEW. And Tony could say, watch Wednesday and Saturday nights and get the best bang for your buck with HBO Max.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. They're killing me with that.
Yeah, it was not. It was. We should have figured that's what it was going to be. It wasn't going to be a knockdown drag out. It was going to be a Big old sausage fest.
We're almost done.
I got my records ready.
On Zoom or
not
on
the
video
same.
chat,
Not
but it's
the
really
same.
not the same. And
Yeah.
and this has been great, and I appreciate you giving me the chance. It's a big week for us with tomorrow being this huge episode, the Go Home Show, Wednesday Night Dynamite, and this being the big pay-per-view week, especially for such a big tentpole show. This is the 7th full year, and it's been with us from the very beginning.
Look
And
at this week you have. Look at that. Look at that lineup here. I mean,
wow.
This is something.
It's going to be huge. We have Dynamite tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
I never would have
on
guessed.
TBS and HBO Max, and then Collision is on as part of this 3-hour block. So you got to
Right.
watch tomorrow.
I don't
It's a
think we-
huge
I don't think we
go
can
home
do
block.
anymore.
It's
Cut
full
it,
year week.
cut it.
Then the
We don't need
countdown show, which is all those awesome video packages. And you were just
Oh my God, 0 hour. I'm about to bust a nut.
All right.
That was hard. Okay. Yeah, that was enough
So-
cocksucking there.
What is your final takes on everything that we watched, man? I'll let Josh go first.
Oh, to me, it's just a lot of evading questions. A lot of evading questions of just running around and just not answering the questions fully. But he did answer some serious questions on there, like obviously the ticket prices, which I like. One, I like the ticket prices because affordable. They're affordable for AEW, even though it's like they're having trouble filling seats. But you know what? Still, they're affordable. The realization of Adam Cole, that shock right there, that where it hit him, yeah, that was some eye-opening stuff right there. So
That was the real deal right there. That shows us Adams Cole's chances of coming back are looking like 90-10, not in his favor. Or it's going to be a 7-year thing like Edge until they advance in medical. And Edge already was a made star, got to come back in his 40s. Adam Cole has to be close to 35 now.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be close because I was watching when he was 30, 31. So he's got to be, what he is, 34 today?
I'm Googling him now.
he's
36.
If he came back, it'd be a one-off thing. And would he risk all? I don't think he's got the time. I know medical science advances very fast in modern day, but I just don't. It doesn't look good with the way Tony said it. It don't look good. And Josh, I'm gonna say something about those ticket prices. As much as Tony Khan's like, yes, look at my affordable ticket prices. Does any of us here on here live truly believe that if Tony had the talent, the power, the name, the company, that he wouldn't be charging exactly what WWE's charging if he could?
a little more. Oh yeah.
No, not even prices with WWE if he could afford it. If his company was like the WWE, if he was WCW in 97, 98 today, I think he totally would be charging the same prices. I do.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Or it might be 10, 20 off, but I don't see him. I think it was a shtick. And I think that he's charging what he has to get butts in seats because he can't charge with the WWE charges or he's done. That's
See.
what I think. What'd you think of the whole thing, Mike?
The whole thing in itself was a shill. It was a public ploy on trying to get Tony Khan to be more susceptible to another interview, which I think would be good for Errol Hawani. But at the same token, I think it looks like I don't want to say this. We got two real answers. We got the Adam Cole situation. The ticket prices I gave 2 fucks about because I think that's some bullshit.
I do too, but ROH.
But the ROH thing that was real, and the people that he mentioned, like the Britt Baker and Jericho and people that and Andrade, things he can talk about, things he can't talk about. and he tried to answer everything. He just said he couldn't talk about Andrade, and I understand why. There is legit.
Yeah, yeah.
If
Legally,
It's legal.
Andrade fucked
Yeah.
up, but the Jericho one, dude, he could have talked about that if he wanted to. He don't want to admit he's losing his first ever champ, the guy that helped make the company. He doesn't want to admit it. I mean, he's like, oh, there's always a place if he. It was all in the past tense. Jericho is gonna jump over to WWE and do his Hall of Fame and his WrestleMania. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
have. There's no one.
to me it's like does AEW really need Jericho now?
No.
I mean, no, they
No.
they don't need him anymore.
They really don't. They really don't.
they need an up and coming star, and I'm gonna be honest, who I think it could be, and people might sit there and go, "No, man, that ain't no." And I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's nobody that y'all would expect. It's not even in the realm of WWE. It's not in the realm of TNA. It's not even in the realm of MLW. It's in the realm of GCW. And the reason I'm fixing to say the name is because I do believe that he has a tremendous upside, and it's Cole Radrick. And
Cole Radrick?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why though. I'm gonna tell you why.
Ratty Daddy?
Ratty Daddy. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Ratty Daddy.
He blew Josh's mind.
Cole Red? No,
Yeah.
I do not see it. No.
Yeah. Think about it, Josh. Ratty Daddy was
like
always
the GCW version of Darby Allin.
Not really. Not really. GC version of Darby Allin is Matt Tremont or Nick Gage.
No,
not Nick Gage.
No.
Oh, yeah. Nick Gage. Nick Gage died in the motherfucking ring.
Yeah, but Nick Gage comes across as more real than a Darby Allin. Darby's just a crash. I know Nick Gage does crazy shit, but he comes off as more believable than Darby Allin.
Not Ratty Daddy. I mean, dude, that is so.
He's always been second fiddle, but never been first place.
I'm waiting for that. I know you know a lot about GCW. I know the owner's like, I'm keeping this shit. I'm doing good when this is up. But I'm waiting for some kind of partnership. And I wait for WWE to try to put just to sandwich one more out of Tony Khan. I mean,
well, they're trying that already. They send people to GCW.
Shayna Baszler will be there for the next Bloodsport.
Yeah.
I'm just wait. I mean, there's only so high you could go. I know GCW is not suffering right now on the level they're on,
no,
but
not.
I know they're not, and they actually do pretty good compared to the other indies. And I just feel like it would make more business sense for them to team up with even if it's not the main roster, but just WWF and the TNA thing, and also to cut Tony Khan's power again. I mean, NWA is a joke. WWE, all WWE's X2000s players are all in MLW. They're all over there. There's not much going on. I mean, I've never looked at them as a big time player. I mean, you got Jinder Mahal, yay. I mean, you got to hire out for the Battle Royal. They had half of the Japanese old guys from Japan. I mean, it's the one still ticking that doesn't have a real big wide affiliation unknown to me is GC. I mean, under the NWA is nothing. Ring of Honor's bought. CMLL and AAA are all teamed up and partnered on and whatever. GCW is the last player that really doesn't in the US that really doesn't have a partnership with one of the big ones, one of the big two. And I'm like, well, when's this gonna? Who's gonna move first? Who's gonna try? I understand the guy doesn't want to sell or anything like that. I understand that, but it's like some type of partnership would benefit GCW and get a lot more eyes on them than they have. Might even help pull them out of those half-ass bingo halls.
Well, they like playing in them bingo halls, man. They play in, dude. They sell out everywhere they go. Tell me if I'm wrong, Josh. They sell out everywhere they fucking
Pretty
go.
much like the event I went to, or I'm going to be going to next year. All the tickets sold out already.
Bro,
It's a
do
big
these
sellout.
do these venues fit 3,000 people?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I
some of
said
them do.
no.
Some of them do.
I
Well,
mean,
they sold out
for a
soon.
small scale, that's not bad. But TNA for their last few shows is hitting 6,000 to 7,000 people. There's a market there if you get enough exposure and more people to go see you and what you're doing. And I know they're more of the ECW of today. I get that, but I just see room for more dollars and more improvement, and they still get to be who they are. And I'd be like, well, why would you want to sit here with, especially with prices always going up, just business wise? I would be like, man, there's a little more in life. You can move a little higher. You know, it's not a slight on them. I
Well,
just think that GCW could be bigger than it is.
let me put it to you like this: the Von Braun Center in Huntsville, Alabama, last year sold out, and it was New South and GCW, and it was standing room only, and it has a 10,000 capacity of people.
That's cool that enough people in the area like that are willing to go and do that stuff. When used to get ECW in Alabama, that not even 5,000 seated arenas in the 90s. The a few hundred people made it feel like massive because they were nuts. But I'm glad for them. I just think there's a little more upside that more people could find out about GCW and get them more dollars.
Well, I mean, dude, people don't understand about GCW. It ain't about really how big the arena is. It's about the environment they can be in.
It's ECW.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But in the same breath, if you want to survive as a wrestling entity in the 20 teens here today, it's about growing your product, you know. It's about getting it. I understand it's the backyard brawl, the fire, the glass, things like that. Sometimes they do just straight up wrestling. It's more of a all around show of anything can happen. I get that, but in the same breath, it's like maximize your intake.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all noticed we've been going live for 3.5 hours?
Well, that watch along, and we did a lot of talking. But you want me to show these records so we can get out of here?
Yes.
Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with more of my shit. And we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off right here. I wanted this. I did not want to pay a lot of money for this. This is the double album. I think I paid 15, but it's Tommy the Who.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, I did not want to spend 30 plus $40. It's just one of those albums I waited on, and I just in VG shape, an OG, $15. It's like, yes, please, I will take that now. And this I stole for $7.50, but this is Jeff Beck's self-titled album.
Nice.
Nice.
And so I've been grabbing a lot of this because Jeff Beck's kind of easy to get your hands on. This OG stuff, it's not that expensive, you know. He was one of the pioneers of lead guitar and of how we know music turned today with rock and metal and all of that. So I always just and here you go. Here's one that did I really pay that? Yes, I did. Well, damn. This is Deep Purple. Not exactly in the same category as Josh's psychedelic first album. This is a Germany press, and they wanted $35, and I said I'm not doing that, but I will gladly give you $17.50.
Nice.
And that is Woman from Tokyo, you know, and shit like that. So
Nice.
I'm not even sure who's on vocals for that album. That might even be David Coverdale Whitesnake. I'd have to look it up, but that is an older one, I'm pretty sure. All right. I'm showing some retro stuff. Then I have some new shit to show y'all. I held off on this because these were selling for 40 and up brand new. Bro, VG copy for $9.99. Give me Leonard Skinner's first album, motherfucker.
Damn.
Yeah, I know Josh is not the biggest fan, but yeah, the first album in VG shape for $10. Yes, I will do that.
Dude, I'm not a fan of Leonard Skinner.
Well, maybe you'll be a fan of these guys because I'm working on getting all 4 of their albums. I think I have it now, and I only paid $12.99. But this is CCR.
Oh, everybody loves TCR, dude.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with
Yeah.
the clearance.
So I have Green River, I have the self-title, I have this one. Either I have the other one and I don't remember, or it's on the way, or whatnot. Okay, y'all ready for new sealed stuff? I think y'all are both going to be kind of happy with this stack right here. Let's see what we got. What is this? Yeah, we'll start with that. All right. Yeah, mine finally came in, Josh. But oh, this was where they had that. They had that silk. No, I paid $33.99 for it. So 34. The average $34, but first Wasp album.
Yes,
Nice.
I got that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the Final Command playing the other day, #2. So I was all like, yeah. Which I like songs off of that one a lot. Might be more about this. I got this was marked down. Let's see. I don't think I felt like I paid 22, but it says 25. But it's a sealed copy of Jar of Flies, Alice in Chains.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not paying, and it's not the Walmart one for that almost comes to 30 on the cheap press. This is not the Walmart version, so that's a good one. Then we got little Stoner Doom here. He wanted to get rid of this for $25. When I've seen this album go for 30 something and up, it's Sleep Holy Mountain, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, he had a few copies. He's like, somebody buy these for me, and I'm like, Dragonauts. So I'm like, that to me, that's the best Sleep album. Oh, and it comes on green and transparent merge effect vinyl. So yeah, it was 35. I got it for 25. I'm like, a sealed Sleep, give me that. I'm gonna pay more for that and ship it. And right here, this is sealed too. I had to pay full price for this, but it is a double album. I think this is a double album, but this is Hendrix's Blues album.
Beautiful.
Yeah, well, it's got all those old guys all over it, front and back, but it's him covering all the old artists, all of that shit, and it's brand. I had to pay 34, but it's one of those albums, you know. It's not one of those remakes or news. It's just it's him covering the blues. And then I know Mike's really gonna like this. But it came this one's made in Germany. I didn't even realize that. They wanted this thing is listed for $40. This is a crime. I paid 20 now. For 30, I said I'll take it. And 6 people behind me were like, he's like, nope, that's my only one. It's 9 Inch Nails, the Fragile. Not the Fragile, Broken. Yeah. And this is one of those presses like my Downward Spiral. Like this is the definitive edition you can hear. It's like my Downward Spiral. I've never heard Downward Spiral sound so good as on the pressing like this on vinyl. So this is going to sound great on 180 gram, and who knows what's going to be colored or look like and all of that. But yeah, a lot of people want it. I'm surprised
He should open it right now and let us see the fucking disc.
Let's see if I can give me a hint. Prepared with lots of detail attended that you may notice, that you may never notice, that we care about. Da 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 da. Might be a black disc, dude. It might be a black vinyl. I think my 9 Inch Downward Spiral is 2 discs, and they were both black. So I got a feeling this one's gonna be black. But when they say attention to detail, probably extra pictures and shit inside. Who knows? That's what I have.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have a whole my biggest order in history is in the back room. That came in. The mail lady couldn't carry it. She tried to hand it to my dad. He couldn't carry it.
Damn.
So yeah, they have dividers in the box so the weight of the records don't destroy each other. But some expensive stuff in there, some good stuff, some legendary stuff, and new sealed stuff. All coming for y'all next week.
Hell yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not watching Ringside Rants,
you're doing life wrong.
you're damn right you are. And man, you know, you also get that big appetite to eat so much that, but we're not just appetite you eat all day long. We're also just
food for the ears, baby.
Damn
That's
right
right.
you are.
And just like those 6 people behind me that tried to get this, but I claimed it first. Always remember, people. What's mine is mine. What's yours is mine, too.
Does anybody have a fun fact? I mean, hell, dude, we went almost 4 hours. I mean, somebody's got to have a fun fact.